It is another postcard day here in Florida. The weather is absolutely gorgeous as the Yankees hit the road. Their shortest spring road trip of the year. They just go to Clearwater, they get off the bus, and they're ready to play a baseball game. Fans are filing in here to Bright House Field, and we're ready for baseball as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Philadelphia Phillies in an exhibition game from Bright House Field in Clearwater, Florida. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball. That's Ken Singleton. I'm Michael Kay. Yesterday, we showed you the first guy that's battling for one of those last two spots in the Yankee rotation. That's going to be one of the main storylines of the spring. That was Bartolo Colon, who pitched very well. Today, Ivan Nova gets started against the Phillies.
Well, he's the youngest of the candidates for one of those spots in rotation for the Yankees. Now, last year, he was lights out at AAA. In fact, he had a record of 12-3 with an ERA of less than 3. He burst upon the big league scene, picked up his first win in Chicago against the White Sox, and he's got a great breaking ball. I think that's his best pitch. His fastball, low to mid-90s, but his breaking ball, his slider is outstanding. And that's where he's going to get most of his outs. He brings a lot of passion to the mound. He's really into it when he's out there, and the Yankees are hoping this 24-year-old can really turn it on.
Those are his numbers from last year with the Yankees. He has 7 starts, 10 games in all, 1-2, 4.50. He threw 42 innings, and the one thing that's concerning to the Yankees, and he has to correct this year, he has to last longer than 5 innings in his start. Now, another person you want to keep a close eye on is the guy that's catching Ivan Nova, and he's one of the top prospects in all of baseball, Yankee catcher Jesus Montero.
This guy has all types of power, Michael. 21 home runs at AAA last year, one of the best hitters in the minor leagues. Somebody you can watch this afternoon for the first time. He caught 100 games for the first time last year. The Yankees have always worried about his defensive posture, but I think he's getting much, much better behind the plate.
He's 6'4", he's 225 pounds, and he's warming up Ivan Nova in the bullpen as we speak. He's a big catcher. He's a big prospect. He's in the lineup. First pitch, baseball. Coming up next on Yes.
Get to Nissan now for the offer you need on the Nissan you want. This is Nissan Now. Get special pricing on our full line. Sedans, trucks and SUVs, crossovers. Now, lease Altima, just $189. Or Rogue, also $189. Visit ChooseNissan.com or see your local Nissan dealer today. Event ends soon. Do it now.
You love cars, and you enjoy working with your hands. Put the two together and learn a skill at Lincoln Technical Institute to become an automotive technician and to get into a new career doing what you love. From engines to transmissions, electronics, and so much more. Our experienced ASE certified instructors have been there and will show you step by step how to diagnose and repair all types of cars and trucks in an on-the-job type atmosphere. Get training for a career that has openings anywhere in the world. Not only are these skills in demand, but it's something you'll enjoy doing. As long as there are cars on the road, there will always be a need for properly trained automotive technicians. Pick up the phone right now and call Lincoln Tech. Classes start soon. This isn't just a job, it's a career. You can do this, and we can help you.
Call 800-754-9105. Classes fill fast, so pick up the phone and call now. That's 800-754-9105. Call now.
Boss wants to know if you took care of that pickup over at Hillside Honda in Queens.
All good, parked in the employee garage. Isn't it great? It's one of a kind.
What is it?
This is one of the most fuel-efficient Hondas ever made. A 1973 Civic with a 2-cylinder engine and 10-inch wheels, baby.
But the boss wanted a new Civic.
It is new, it's never been driven.
This thing dates back to the Nixon administration.
But it's the boss's favorite color.
The boss's favorite website is hillsidehonda.com. You better log on and get a new Civic.
But can we keep the color, though? Because it's really hot.
Who hired you?
The boss?
Today's Game on Yes is brought to you in part by the all-new Chevy Cruze. Visit ChevyOffers.com. By Verizon Fios, get the ultimate in entertainment on the ultimate network. Fios, a network ahead. And by Mazda, Zoom, Zoom. It's just a great, great day here in Clearwater, Florida. And when you talk to both sides, they say the weather since they've arrived in Florida has been magnificent, a far cry from last year when people wear windbreakers and sweaters till maybe the middle of March. But the weather certainly is conducive to getting into shape, and both teams are just raving about how great it's been. And the game time weather conditions presented by Toyota: 80 degrees, sunny, pleasant. There is not a cloud in the sky. And back in the Bronx, where Yankee Stadium sits waiting for the home opener against the Tigers, it's 46 degrees and it's partly cloudy. And I guess when you're trying to loosen up the adhesions of winter, Kenny, it's nice to have a hot sun and break a sweat.
Well, yeah, it's very true, Michael. You get down here and do your running, you do your throwing on the side, you take your batting practice. By the end of the day, you should have known that you had a workout. Now, last year, as you said, it was a little different. Everybody was wearing, long sleeves, and it was tough to get loose and get yourself ready for the regular season. You can see how the fans are enjoying it. That's beyond the outfield wall here. This is just a beautiful ballpark, Bright House Field, and a lot of Philly fans, of course, enjoy their ball club.
This is the home opener for the spring for the Phillies. Yesterday, the Yankees had their home opener against the Phillies, and this is really the shortest road trip that you could have here in Florida. I believe it's maybe 20 minutes, 22 minutes from field to field. So the Yankees lost yesterday's game 5-4, and the Yankees now will try to even up their spring record at a game apiece on the win and the loss side. And the Phillies have taken the field. Let's take a look now at the Yankees starting lineup, which is presented, as always, by our good friends at Lexus. Brett Gardner's the left fielder. He's going to lead off. Nick Swisher's in right field. He'll bat second. Curtis Granderson, the center fielder, will hit third. DHing Jorge Posada. He'll clean up. Eric Chavez at first base will bat fifth. Batting sixth, the guy we talk about, the rookie, the catcher, Jesus Montero. Eduardo Nunez at second base will bat seventh. Batting eighth, they've made a change. It's not Ronnie Belliard. It's actually going to be Gerald Laird now. Belliard's calf was bothering him, so a late scratch. And Ramiro Pena, the shortstop, is going to bat ninth.
You're looking at veteran right-hander, 30-year-old Joe Blanton, and he'll be on the mound this afternoon for the Philadelphia Phillies. He is part of their rotation. Last year, he had a decent record for the Phillies. 9-6, 4.82 ERA, threw 175 2/3 innings, gave up 206. He's a pitcher that pitches to contact, not real strikeout pitcher. Opponents hit 291 against him. Let's check out our scouting report on Joe Blanton. Well, he's no ordinary Joe. I know that the other four pitchers in the Phillies rotation, they get more ink, that's for sure. But Joe Blanton has done very well in a Philly uniform. He's 25-14 in his 3 years with Philadelphia. Now, all or nothing. Joe Blanton has had 14 postseason at-bats. He is 1 for 14 with 10 strikeouts. The one was a home run. Hit a home run against the Tampa Bay Rays in the World Series in 2008. And last year, he does give up the long ball. 27 home runs allowed.
Well, he is ready. He's the one guy that you can take a little bit of a breath against when you play the Phillies, because, as Kenny mentioned, the other four are all considered staff aces, and that is the advantage that the Phillies have coming in to the 2011 season. Here's Brett Gardner. He's going to lead off for the Yankees. So Gardner is ready. Blanton is ready. We thank you for joining us on this Sunday afternoon, and let's do it here in Clearwater. The first pitch is up and away, and we are underway. Derek Jeter did not make the road trip, so Brett Gardner leading off. Joe Girardi has already said Jeter is going to lead off this year. Obviously, that's subject to change if Derek struggles, and no one thinks he's going to, but they certainly have that guy that could slide right into that spot, Brett Gardner.
In fact, the Yankees starting infield was left back in Tampa to take some extra batting practice and take some extra swings. When you come to a ball game, you're going to get 4 at-bats and a little batting practice. When you stay back, you get a lot of work.
Let's take a look at the Phillies defense, which is now put behind the 8 ball because you walk Gardner, and the defense is brought to you by DirecTV. You've got Ibanez, Victorino, and Brown. That's left to right in the outfield. Infield, Polanco, Rollins, Valdez, and Howard, third to first. Carlos Ruiz is behind the plate, and we've detailed Joe Blanton as the starter. Now, Chase Utley is the starting second baseman with the Phillies. He had a press conference before the game began as the pitch to Swisher is a strike, and he has patella tendonitis in his right knee. They don't think it's anything serious. He underwent an MRI yesterday. He said if it was July, he'd be playing in this game, but they want to give him a couple of days off to rehab the knee, so get the pain out of there, get the inflammation out of there. That's why Valdez is at second. Pitch is low, so the count 1-1.
Of course, with Gardner over at first base, he represents the ability to move himself around the bases. 47 steals last year. Nick Swisher at the plate draws a lot of walks. Doesn't bother him to go deep in counts, which would allow Gardner to take off for second.
Blanton having a hard time commanding the zone, so he's thrown 7 pitches so far, 6 for balls. Also getting an opportunity to work out of the stretch immediately. Now Gardner is a great threat to steal.
Good count for him to go on.
Swing and a miss. By the time Blanton let go of that ball, I'd say that Gardner was 30 feet off of first base. Really dancing around out there. The 2-2. Right back to Blanton. This should be 2. There's 1. On to first. 1-6-3 double play.
One of the things about being a pitcher, a complete pitcher, I should say, is fielding your own position. Blanton helps himself out. Hard smash, but on one hop right back to him. Perfect throw to Jimmy Rollins. Steps across the bag and relays it to Ryan Howard at first for the tailor-made 1-6-3 double play.
Here's Curtis Granderson. And there's a strike. You know, Kenny, I was thinking Blanton's probably going to have more pressure on him than any of the other 4 aces, because when he pitches, the other team's going to think we have to win this game.
But I did mention the fact that he's got a pretty good record for the Phillies in 3 years. He's 11 games over 500.
The 1-2. Strike 3. Granderson down looking. So the leadoff walk does not hurt Blanton. No runs, no hits, no errors. And because of the double play, nobody left on base. Yankees nothing. And the Phillies coming to bat.
A leader knows what it takes to be the best, like the Ford Escape, with quality that can't be beat by Honda or Toyota. During the leadership sales drive, lease a new Escape for just $179 a month. Quality-minded, savings assured at your Tri-State Ford dealer.
DeMarini Voodoo Bat, $199.99. Everything baseball. Sports Authority, all things sporting good.
Want to know what it takes to be a leader? How about just being the best? Like Ford Escape with an unbelievable 28 miles per gallon. During our leadership sales drive, lease an Escape for just $179 a month. Less stops at the pump, more savings in your wallet at your Tri-State Ford dealer.
Well, the Yankees do not score in the top of the first inning. Now it's the Phillies' chance against Ivan Nova. Let's take a look at the Philadelphia Phillies starting lineup that is presented by Lexus. Phillies beat the Yankees yesterday, so they're 1-0. Jimmy Rollins, their veteran shortstop, will lead off. Batting second and playing center field, Shane Victorino. Raul Ibanez in left field, he'll hit third. Ryan Howard at first base cleans up. Batting fifth and playing third base, Placido Polanco. Dominic Brown in right field, he's going to bat sixth. Batting seventh and DHing, Ben Francisco. Carlos Ruiz will catch, he's going to bat eighth. And batting ninth and playing second base is Wilson Valdez.
Just 24 years old, Ivan Nova on the mound for the Yankees this afternoon. And as I mentioned in the open, he rocketed through AAA last year at Scranton Wilkes-Barre, went 12-3. That's what he did in the big leagues, 1-2 with a 4.50 ERA. Let's check out the scout report quickly on Mr. Nova. Nova last year, well, the question is, will youth be served? He's the youngest candidate for one of the final two spots in the rotation. He's got as good a chance as anybody is winning it. Chicago is his kind of town. August 29th of last year, picked up his first major league win against the White Sox in Chicago, and that particular day his slider was outstanding. He's got a good one.
So Nova, the first step as he tries to get into the rotation, solidify a spot. Those spots are open. You perform, you're going to be a starter for the New York Yankees. And Jimmy Rollins takes a strike. Rollins, the veteran shortstop, 32 years old in the final year of his contract with the Phillies, so he wants to put up a good season.
Like a lot of the Phillies last year, Rollins had injury problems, had a calf strain. He only played in 80-something ball games. MVP back in 2007, but he's not had that type of production the last couple of years. He only had 218 against right-handers last year. He's a switch hitter, and there's a lot of talk, Michael, about him being dropped out of the leadoff spot. There's that possibility. Charlie Manuel, you know, Jimmy Rollins has pretty good power for a shortstop. He might drop him down maybe 5th or 6th, but they would like to see him bat first.
So important for this team what he does defensively, especially a team with such good pitching. And he's kind of an emotional leader, came up through the system with them, wants to be here, but again, 32 years old. And the thing that he has in his favor is the Phillies don't have a shortstop that's near being ready coming up through the system. So if they wouldn't sign Rollins, well, they'd have to go out and get one. The 2-2. Chop, right side. Nunez is there. 1 out. Let's take a look now at the New York Yankees defense, which is presented by Lexus. Oh, check that by DirecTV. Gardner, Granderson, and Swisher left to right. Laird, Pena, Nunez, and Chavez third to first. Montero behind the plate, and Nova is on the mound. Here's Shane Victorino. They call him the Flying Hawaiian. Now you look around this Philly team, and there's some veterans. There's age on this team. They talk about the Yankees being an older team. The Phillies, their time is now.
Well, there's only one starter under 30, and that is Dominic Brown, if he remains a starter.
Right.
All the rest of it is Raul Ibanez on deck, mid-30s, last year of his contract. Victorino just turned 30.
Chop towards second. Nunez. 2 away.
Interestingly enough, with Nunez at second today, we've seen him play shortstop and a little bit of third base, and Nova on the mound. Now, they both kind of came of age last year on the same day. Nova won his first major league game in Chicago on August 29th. On that same day, Nunez hit his first major league home run. So they both came of age. Big league win, big league homer.
And the pitch to Ibanez is a strike.
Michael, you're talking about the Phillies, a little older team, and that might have been one of the reasons why they had so many players on the DL last year during the course of the year, including Ibanez.
That's chopped to third. Gerald Laird. And that'll do it. There's a 1-2-3 inning. So Brendan Laird with the ground ball, throwing it over to first. 3 ground balls, 3 outs, no score, end of 1.
Let's compare Dish Network and DirecTV. Both broadcast movies. Dish Cinema has about 55. DirecTV Cinema, 400. 400 of the latest releases, all in stunning Blu-ray format 1080p HD with Dolby Theater quality sound. And only DirecTV lets you pre-order movies that are still playing in theaters. DirecTV Cinema, another reason why 50 million people agree. Don't just watch TV, DirecTV.
You love cars, and you enjoy working with your hands. Put the two together and learn a skill at Lincoln Technical Institute to become an automotive technician and to get into a new career doing what you love. From engines to transmissions, electronics, and so much more. Our experienced ASE certified instructors have been there and will show you step by step how to diagnose and repair all types of cars and trucks in an on-the-job type atmosphere. Get training for a career that has openings anywhere in the world. Not only are these skills in demand, but it's something you'll enjoy doing. As long as there are cars on the road, there will always be a need for properly trained automotive technicians. Pick up the phone right now and call Lincoln Tech. Classes start soon. This isn't just a job, it's a career. You can do this, and we can help you.
Call 800-754-9105. Classes fill fast, so pick up the phone and call now. That's 800-754-9105. Call now.
One of the reasons 2 spots are open in the Yankee rotation is that Cliff Lee did not take their free agent offer. He decided to sign with the Phillies, and our Jack Curry caught up with Cliff Lee and asked him that question.
Cliff, I know this is familiar terrain. The Phillies, you've been here before. A lot of people want to know, in the offseason, you had a lot of choices, Yankees, Rangers, Phillies. Why Philadelphia?
Well, obviously I've had some experience here, and my family enjoyed it here, and
the money aside, I just kind of sat back and looked at each team, and I felt like this was my best chance to win a World Series, and hopefully a few over the life of my contract. So those two things, my family's happiness and knowing what I was going to be dealing with, and just the talent of the team and the chance of winning a World Series, those were the main factors for me.
Nice play by Polanco, taking a base hit away from Posada as he is retired on the 5-3, and that's pretty much the answer that Cliff Lee has given. And I wonder, Kenny, and there's really no answer to this because you can't suppose if something happened because it didn't happen. If the deal with Seattle had gone through and Cliff Lee finished last year with the Yankees, would he have been more apt to stay with the Yankees as a free agent when he realized what it was about and how it was to play here?
Do you think the Yankees, if the deal had gone through, wouldn't they have made sure he signed? Yeah, let's.
Well, that wasn't a contingency on the deal.
Okay.
You would think that once it happened, that he would have felt comfortable here. Chavez grounds out to Howard for the second out, but that's a question that won't be answered.
No.
And one of the reasons he didn't come here is that Brian Cashman was reluctant to give up today's Yankees starter, Ivan Nova, in that deal, and he didn't want to give up Eduardo Nunez. Seattle wanted one of those two players added.
One player he thought about giving up was Montero.
Yes, Montero was in that deal. And here he is. That's what he did last year in Scranton. After a slow start, came on strong. And the thing that's impressed the Yankees, Kenny, this year is that they always thought he could hit in the big leagues, but they're seeing him really develop and be more comfortable as a catcher. Swing and a miss.
Off-speed pitch. I think, if I'm not mistaken, talking to Butch Weiniger, who's one of the hitting instructors in the Yankee organization, Montero, and Butch was a former catcher himself, last year was the first time he ever caught 100 games. So that's how you develop in the minor leagues. Working at your craft, getting ready, learning how to call pitches, get pitchers through tough spots in ball games. The Yankees have more or less a veteran staff, so they might be helping him in that regard. But one thing he can do is hit.
He's conquered every level.
Yeah. Great power to the opposite field. Although today, if he decides to pull the ball, he's going to get a boost. The wind is blowing from right to left here at Bright House Field.
Now you wonder if it comes across on your television set, but you stand next to Montero, he's a very large person, and usually catchers aren't that big. Now Joe Mauer is that big, and he's definitely in that mold. He has power, he hits for average, and he's just a baby.
Yeah. Carlton Fisk was that big, if not bigger.
I think Carlton Fisk was bigger because Montero's 6'4", 225. I think Fisk was 6'5" or 6'6". Yeah. Grounded foul.
He's had some good swings at Blanton during this at bat. If Blanton makes any type of mistake, you're going to see something hit pretty hard.
It's one of the rites of spring, seeing the guy you heard so much about, seeing him in play and how he's going to do. You put the body and the swing and the mannerisms to the name and the expectations. Robbie Thompson with his first tough play of the spring. But we've been hearing about Montero for a while. The Yankees are very patient with their prospects. It's because they don't need to rush people. They've got veterans. They've got stars that do the job on the big league level, so they could work you through each level and have you conquer that level.
Blanton's thrown him just about everything during this at bat. He took something off of that, and Montero was able to spoil it.
Eduardo Nunez is on deck. Two-way here in the top of the second. Yankees and the Phillies. Second game of the Grapefruit League season for both teams. Two-two. Ripped right at Polanco. So Montero with a good at bat and really scalded the ball, but right at Polanco as the Yankees go down in order. 1-2-3, and we'll go to the bottom of the second with no score.
The New York Yankees are tradition.
Swung on and missed. Sabathia is dealing.
2011 New York Yankees season tickets are on sale now with a number of great benefits, including savings off of the game day ticket prices. Several ticket plans also include postseason benefits. Yankee season ticket plans are available on both a full season and partial season basis, starting with our 11-game plan. Buy your season ticket plan today. Call 212-YANKEES or log on to Yankees.com.
There's nothing that works like confidence. Especially with all this to back it up.
At the Lincoln Spring Forward event, get an attractive sign and drive lease plus 4 years complimentary maintenance on the Lincoln MKZ.
It's not just luxury, it's smarter than that.
Hello. Dunkin' Donuts has reinvented the chocolate donut.
I know. They're delicious.
Introducing Dunkin's all-new Cocoa Donuts, like our fantastic reverse Boston cream. Try them all. America runs on Dunkin'.
What genius wrote the rule on SUVs? That more space means you have to drive something as aerodynamic as an elephant. Ever seen an elephant in a wind tunnel? That can't be good. The stylish and sophisticated 7-passenger Mazda CX-9 and the 5-passenger Mazda CX-7, the driver's alternative to chunky SUVs. Now get a Mazda CX-9 with all-wheel drive for only $289 a month.
Wednesday afternoon, our Yankee spring training coverage continues here on Yes when the Bombers host the Houston Astros at George Steinbrenner Field. Ken Singleton will join me once again for complete coverage from Tampa, starting at 1, only on Yes. Kenny, I'm going to shock you. All right, so we thought that Fisk was taller than Montero.
Yeah.
So, of course, you know, you can't just say things without looking it up. He's listed as 6'3". Now, I can't believe I've stood next to Carlton Fisk. I'm 6'4", and he's bigger than me.
Yeah, he's taller. He's taller than 6'3".
So you can believe us or the written word. I think the written word's probably the way to go. Here's Ryan Howard. Ryan Howard, in this ballpark against the Yankees, hit one of the longest home runs I've ever seen against Mike Messina. Hit it onto the highway beyond the right field wall. And I could just imagine the ball like going in front of a car doing 60 miles an hour.
That's US 19 out there beyond the right field wall. Yeah, it's a main thoroughfare north and south here in western Florida. And the wind was actually blowing out that day towards right field, and he just crushed it. Yeah, it was off of Ron Vallone. The one he hit one off of Messina in Philadelphia into the upper deck.
I think he hit one of them against Messina and one against Vallone right here as Howard goes down swinging.
Well, he's led the major leagues in home runs the last 5 years, but not here. We talked about Nova's breaking ball. That was a good one right to the corner. And another thing about Montero, see him hold that ball for the umpire and get a good look at it. Umpiring behind home plate today is David Rackley. And one of the things about catching is how you present the balls that are thrown by the pitchers. Give the umpire a good look.
Here's Polanco.
Look out.
And he flips on the Nova pitch.
That's the first time we've seen that this spring. Veteran Polanco. Oh, that was close.
Scary.
Another look at it. Well, that brings back bad memories.
Kenny, that fastball, I mean, I don't know how accurate the gun is, was 96 miles an hour in spring training. Botched there by Chavez. He regains and flips to Nova for the second out.
I think one thing Eric Chavez is going to find over at first base, third base, time to time you knock the ball down, you still have enough time, but you have to get it across the diamond. At first base, where he's playing this afternoon, knock it down. Pitcher's job is to get over, give you a safety net to make the play. Nova's there, and Polanco's out number 2.
Chavez has been very, very open about he struggles at first. He's obviously a very good third baseman. He's won 6 Gold Gloves, but they'd like him to be able to spell Teixeira over at first. Here's Dominic Brown. Dominic Brown is expecting to step into some big shoes. Jason Worth played right field on the Phillies championship team and then signed a long-term contract with the Nationals as a free agent. And what Worth gave them, veteran presence, good outfielder, clutch bat, was he also gave them a right-handed bat. And if you want to pick apart the Phillies, and it's hard to pick apart a team that's this good, they are definitely leaning too much to the left.
Dominic Brown was in high school. He was a talented wide receiver, and he was a pitcher. Threw 90 miles an hour. He was scouted as a pitcher, eventually became an outfielder.
This is what Worth gave them the last 3 years. Last year, 296, 27, and 85. Then 36 home runs the year before that, and 24 in the World Series championship year.
All those numbers led up to a big-time contract from the Nationals.
Bigger than most people thought he was going to get.
100 plus?
7 years, right?
Well, I don't know. Those numbers are foreign to me. Those are the type of numbers you would get in Washington with all the money that's down there, though.
Or used to be.
They're still taking it from us.
Here's the 2-2. Swung on and missed. And a very impressive 2 innings for Ivan Nova. 6 up, 6 down, 4 ground balls, and 2 strikeouts. No score as we head to the 3rd.
To equip the Lexus ES with standard features more like the Mercedes C300, you'd have to take out the 6-disc CD changer and leather-trimmed seats. With the BMW 328i, you'd also lose the 17-inch alloy wheels. And some others in its class? Forget wood detailing or sound-dampening windshields, to name a couple. But why would you want to do that? The Lexus ES standard is nothing short of extraordinary. Lease the 2011 ES350 for $399 a month for 36 months, with $38.74 due at signing. See your Lexus dealer.
Verizon has thousands of representatives and technicians, and we're right here in Long Island, ready to go that extra mile for you.
This is their neighborhood, so it kind of makes a difference.
I work where I live, and I run into these customers all the time, so I want to make sure that they're happy.
From the second we called to set up the appointment to the installation, couldn't have gone better.
We're committed to bringing the best in entertainment to where you live, because we live here too.
People say, how is Fios really? And I say, listen, it's not because I work for Verizon, it is a much better product. Fios is unbelievable.
There's no force like the one that comes from joining forces. No strength like strength in numbers. The kind of numbers delivered by Ram 1500, a 390 horsepower Hemi V8, 20 MPG, a 5-year, 100,000 mile powertrain warranty. Strength in numbers. Now, during Ram Truck Month.
Get the 2011 Ram 1500 Bighorn 4x4 with a no extra charge Hemi V8 for $299 a month for well-qualified lessees.
Spring training baseball continues on Yes, Wednesday at 1. Get an early look at some of the Yankees' hot prospects as the Bombers host the Houston Astros from Steinbrenner Field in Tampa. Spring training baseball continues Wednesday starting at 1, only on Yes.
Eduardo Nunez leads off against Joe Blanton. So both of these pitchers are working so quickly and effectively that they're keeping them in for a 3rd inning because they haven't thrown in enough pitches. Shattered bat, soft ground ball to 3rd. Polanco gets the speedy Nunez for the 1st out. And here's Brendan Laird. Now, there's a brother, Gerald, and I apologize in the 1st inning. I inadvertently called him Gerald. That is his brother, but this is Brendan, who has a chance to make this team as a backup infielder. I think he makes the team if Chavez doesn't. But if Chavez stays healthy, I think he's going to make the team.
Yeah, because Laird can play 1st and 3rd.
Yes.
He's got some pop. Yeah, and the way he hits, he kind of hits like his brother does. Same style of holding his bat. Brother, a solid defensive catcher. One of Tony Peña's favorites. Tony Peña, Yankee bench coach, former Gold Glove catcher. There's a resume on Brandon Laird, drafted by the Yankees, 27th round. Brother of the Cardinals catcher Gerald Laird, MVP and Rookie of the Year, Eastern League last year. and the 10th best Yankees prospect rated by Baseball America.
The 0-2. Chop towards short. Rollins. 2 outs.
Have we got a fly ball out in this game yet? I don't think so.
And we've had pop-ups. Oh, line drives.
Yeah,
Something
line
in the
drive.
air, but that's about it.
Infielders have been busy. Good movement on the fastball by Joe Blanton and Ivan Nova so far.
Kenny, one of the rights of spring is that you always hear this adage: pitchers are ahead of the hitters. Is it true at this point?
Yeah, I would think so, because they've been down here longer. They've been working. Although, you know, nowadays hitters work wherever they live. You know, they put batting cages in their homes. But there's nothing like facing live pitching, and the pitchers should be a little bit ahead. But eventually, things start to catch up. The hitters start to get a little more aggressive, recognize breaking pitches a little bit better. Talked to Pena the other day, and young lady down the line getting a round of applause from the fans. She made a nice play on that foul ball. But Pena played winter ball, like he said. He played in Culiacan in Mexico. Played a lot of shortstop, also at third base. He said he played more third than short. But he said at the end of last year when I talked to him, I need to go get some at-bats, because, you know, he didn't play every day with the Yankees last year. Came off the bench and did what he did very well.
High fly ball. Deep right. Brown backs up in front of the track. He makes the play. And Joe Blanton faces the minimum 9 Yankees over 3 innings. He walked 1 batter. It was raced on a double play, and we have no score.
The New York Yankees are great moments.
See ya! What a play! He got him!
Yankee fans, bring your family, friends, or business associates to Yankee Stadium for a group outing and enjoy Yankees baseball in a game day suite. Game day suites can accommodate groups as small as 12 and up to 382 guests with all-inclusive food and non-alcoholic beverage packages. Make your special occasion legendary. Call 212-YANKEES, email suites@yankees.com, or log on to yankees.com/suites.
It's comparable to Toyota. Our car.
Why do so many car companies compare themselves to Toyota? Maybe it's because Toyota is the #1 choice among consumers, or because 80% of Toyotas sold in the last 20 years are still on the road today. And right now, at your local Toyota dealer, you can lease the fuel-efficient Prius for just $209 a month, or get $1,000 cash back. We're #1 for a reason. Come see for yourself. Hurry in for the best selection.
Here's what a car insurance executive told me. So how do you decide how much someone pays?
You figure out their socioeconomic status.
Isn't that illegal?
Turns out it's only immoral.
Rates should be based on how well you drive, not how well you do. Pure Auto Insurance.
This month, we honor our leaders, those that inspire us to become something better, to discover our full potential. At Chevrolet, we celebrate these leaders, past and present, and this month, we invite you to join us. During our President's Day event, qualified current GM owners and lessees can lease this 2011 Traverse LS for around $327 a month with 0 due at signing. Tax, title, license, and dealer fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Call for details. Hurry, offer ends February 28th. Find your nearest dealer on ChevyOffers.com.
Certainly a Chamber of Commerce day here in Clearwater. You could sell your city on this sort of day. Beautiful weather, temperatures in the 80s, very few clouds overhead, and the Yankees and the Phillies going at it in an exhibition game. New pitcher for the Yankees is Sergio Mitre, another guy battling for one of the 2 spots open in the Yankee rotation.
That's very true, Michael. And Mitre, a spot started for the Yankees last year. You see him make 3 starts. But I think that one thing that works against him in regard to making the starting rotation, that he's so effective out of the bullpen as a long man. And you know, right now he's one of the candidates.
Well, you have to like what you saw out of Ivan Nova. Good job by him. 6 up, 6 down, 4 ground balls and 2 strikeouts. Ben Francisco watches the ball skip past Montero. Account 1-0.
Now, we mentioned yesterday Francisco will probably be the 4th outfielder for the Phillies. Their outfielder being comprised of Brown in right, Victorino in center, and Ibanez in left. But Francisco is capable of playing all 3. Today he draws the duty as a designated hitter.
Now a little bit of a cross-up between Montero and Mitre, and now Joe Girardi comes out. and wants to see if Montero's okay. Looking at his right hand, I guess it got kind of got hit on that ball that skipped by him, and now Gene Monahan will take a look, which is perfect as we go to Kim Jones in the third base camera well. Kim, I know that you did a lot of work with Montero today. You spoke with him, talked to some people around him, and the thing that I get from him, Kim, very poised guy for his age.
Yeah, this isn't too big for him, Michael. I asked him how he was feeling. He said happy and excited. Nervous was not part of that conversation for Jesus Montero, whose debut today was much anticipated, Michael, even by his manager. Joe Girardi telling me Montero's been a pleasant surprise of this spring because he literally looks more comfortable as a catcher. What does Joe mean? He means squatting, fielding balls, literally getting into position. I asked Jesus about that. He said he's right. I've played a lot more since he last saw me. I am a lot more comfortable. He's here to win this job, Michael, as are a couple of other guys, too.
See, I'm wondering about that, Kim. Is the job Russell Martin's for sure, or from what you're hearing working the clubhouse, do you get a sense that Montero could win that starting job?
Well, I think we have to see Russell Martin first. He, of course, coming off that knee surgery in the offseason, a newly signed Yankee, as we all know, and will debut later this week, they hope. But whether you talk to Francisco Cervelli, Austin Romine, or Jesus Montero, they don't talk about sitting on the bench. They all want to play. That's really no surprise.
Now, I know how you work, Kim, and when you've got a resource like, you know, not arguably, he's been listed as one of the two greatest catchers in the history of baseball, Yogi Berra, just roaming around the clubhouse. I'm sure you'll ask Yogi about Montero as well.
Yeah, and these young catchers have also talked to Yogi. Romine sitting with him on the bench briefly before batting practice today. I asked Yogi about the catching depth in this organization. He said they're all pretty good. He just smiled. This is a source of pride for him. He loves seeing this. He said, I'm interested in seeing this kid today. He, too, was interested in seeing Montero behind the dish.
You got a chance the other day, Kim, to talk to Romine. What type of guy is he?
Very confident. Very confident in a good way. He thinks he can play. He thinks he can win the job. He doesn't take a back seat, even though I know the offense for Romine is believed to be behind that of Montero, who could be such a great hitter if you ask anybody. Romine doesn't give an inch. He said, I can hit the ball too, and his defensive skills are really something this coaching staff likes a lot. And then there's, of course, Cervelli, who grew up a stone's throw from Montero in Venezuela. He's helping him. He's helping him and Romine as much as he can. This is a very friendly competition, but it's definitely a competition.
And one thing that's a little awkward about this competition is the guy that's been the Yankees starting catcher for the longest time, Jorge Posada, might not catch more than a couple of innings down in spring training. They're trying to drill it into his head. You're not catching this year.
Yeah, and he's had a smile on his face these past 2 days, Michael. I think this transition is difficult for Jorge, but anyone you talk to says he's been absolutely terrific. I did joke with him today about maybe playing catch. His response, when you DH, you don't play catch.
You saw Wilson Valdez there hit a hard liner on one hot that ate up Nunez, so the first base runner for the Phillies. Now, I'm also wondering about Montero. He's got the skills to hit. Kevin Long said that right now this year he'd hit 270, and he's going to be a 300 hitter in the big leagues. Do you think the Yankees would have him make the team as a backup to Russell Martin, or would they rather him play every day in AAA?
Michael, the people I've talked to have said it's too early to decide that stuff right now. It is still February. But you mentioned the skills. Joe Girardi said it's one thing to do the drills and have the skills. He wasn't trying to rhyme. He said it's another thing to do it in the game. That's a lot of what this spring is going to be about in evaluating all these guys, especially Jesus Montero.
Jimmy Rollins pops up to Gardner as a strong inning completed by Sergio Mitre. We thank Kim. We'll talk to her a little bit later on. We played 3 here in Clearwater, and there is no score.
The offseason is always on with new episodes of Yankees Magazine. Get insider access to all the off-the-field happenings of the 27-time world champs. Nancy Newman hosts Yankees Magazine. Catch new episodes only on Yes.
You get job benefits, company benefits, even card member benefits. But did you know DirecTV comes with benefits too?
I use the favorites feature to set up my own list of channels. Now it's easy to find my cooking shows and my sports. I just push the menu button.
I use the mini guide to see what's on without making my husband miss his game. It's a mini relationship saver. I just press the blue button on the remote.
You've got the benefits of the best TV. DirecTV.
You love cars, and you enjoy working with your hands. Put the two together and learn a skill at Lincoln Technical Institute to become an automotive technician and to get into a new career doing what you love. From engines to transmissions, electronics, and so much more. Our experienced ASE certified instructors have been there and will show you step by step how to diagnose and repair all types of cars and trucks in an on-the-job type atmosphere. Get training for a career that has openings anywhere in the world. Not only are these skills in demand, but it's something you'll enjoy doing. As long as there are cars on the road, there will always be a need for properly trained automotive technicians. Pick up the phone right now and call Lincoln Tech. Classes start soon. This isn't just a job, it's a career. You can do this, and we can help you.
Call 800-754-9105. Classes fill fast, so pick up the phone and call now. That's 800-754-9105. Call now.
Today's Game on Yes is brought to you in part by Nissan. Get to the Nissan Now sales event for the Nissan you want. Visit ChooseNissan.com or your local dealer now. Well, we go to the fourth inning. It's been all pitching so far. Joe Blanton gave the Phillies 3 outstanding innings, and now they turn it over to another young right-hander, Justin DeFratis.
Double-A ready. 1-0. 24 2/3, 17 hits, 5 walks, 28 strikeouts.
That's pretty good. 28 strikeouts in 24 2/3 innings. Not
right.
Too many walks.
We'll see how he does it facing the top of the order here.
No score on the Cadillac scoreboard as we start the top of the fourth inning. So it'll be DeFratis against Gardner, Swisher, and Granderson. Gardner walked in the first inning on 4 pitches to open the game. He did this last year, and he's doing it a lot this year. He's working on his bunting with his speed. If he could get bunts down, he's going to beat him out. He's going to get 10 extra base hits. Not extra base hits. He's going to get 10 more hits a year.
You can see Polanco on the grass at third. And you can see Ryan Howard about even with the bag at first. So they're drawn up a bit. Protect against the bunt. Gardner actually led the Yankees in on-base percentage last year. So if he continues that trend, score a lot of runs, make things happen.
Now, Brett wants it to happen this year. He wants to be closer to a finished product because although you think of him as a young player, he spent a lot of time in the minor leagues. He's 27 years old. This is when you want it to click in. Hasn't seen a strike yet today. 3-0 right here, and there's a strike. And he walks again.
Now, his first time when he reached on the walk, he did not attempt to steal. I got a feeling that, you got to break that into here in spring training.
Robbie Thompson going through the signs. Want to remind everybody, after the game, you got to stick around. Don't change channels. Spring training report with Kim Jones and Jack Curry.
Yeah.
All the big stories going on, interviews, things like that. Kenny and I will be a part of it right after the game. So our first spring training report. Here's Nick Swisher.
Gardner drawing attention right away. Some attention right away. He's got a very big lead over at first base.
Breaking ball drops in there for a strike. As part of the spring training report, we're going to learn about the Yankees' new pitching coach, highly respected Larry Rothschild.
Had a nice discussion with Larry before the game today. It was we were talking about Ivan Nova. He says he likes his mound presence.
Broken back pop-up, shallow right center. Victorino comes a long way to put it away for the first out.
Phillies have a solid defense up the middle. Victorino's won the last 3 Gold Gloves, center fielder for the Philadelphia Phillies. Jimmy Rollins, short, is a former Gold Glove winner. Polanco at third. He won a Gold Glove playing second in Detroit.
Granderson smacks one the other way. Ibanez back on the track at the wall. See ya! Showing power the other way, a 2-run home run for Curtis Granderson. And the Yankees lead 2-0.
Well, we talked about the wind blowing from right to left today, and that ball got out towards Ibanez and then took off up in the jet stream, up out over the plate. And this is a good sign for the Yankees and for Granderson. Michael, once he made that adjustment last year, I believe it was in August, since August 13th to the end of the season, he led the Yankees in home runs, but I can't remember him hitting one to left field. So that is a good sign. If he starts to harness some power towards the other way, he'll make him even more of a home run threat.
Count 1-0 on Posada, who grounded out to third in the second. Played yesterday, saw one pitch, made an out, and makes a trip today. I've talked to Yankee hitting coach Kevin Long for a while about Posada's transition to DH, and we were talking about it yesterday. Now he has an opportunity to look at a lot of tape. And Long said, no. I don't want him to do that. He said, I want him to approximate being a player. He said, you can overload yourself with information.
That is so true.
He said, and Hideki Matsui did that when he became a DH. He kept looking at tape and making adjustments during the game. He said, there's no way that you should do that. He said, we don't want Jorge to do that.
I agree with him, because you have too much time to think about your at-bats. You could what did Kitty say? Study long, study wrong. So the thing is that you can overload yourself, as Kevin Long says.
Interestingly enough, he said, I also don't want him to go in the cage. He said, I don't want him to hit too much. He said, because that's not what you do as an everyday player. He said, maybe some off the tee. He said, what I need him to do between at-bats, ride the exercise bike. He said, just keep yourself loose. Keep everything moving. He said, and study the game. He said, now, if you want to look at tape, he said, you could look at tape of the pitcher that might be coming in out of the bullpen. Let's say the Red Sox are warming up Okajima as Posada wants to go. Put in an Okajima tape and see what he throws. He said, but I don't want him looking at his swing and analyzing and adjusting. He said, that's not going to help him as a DH.
Kevin Long, of course, one of the better hitting coaches in Major League Baseball. Very hard worker, very dedicated to his hitters. During the course of the winter, he goes, either they come to see him in Arizona or he flies around the country or the world in some regards to help his hitters out and get them ready for spring training and eventually the season. And one of the best adjustments I've ever seen, in-season adjustments, was Curtis Granderson last year. I mean, he was completely lost and worked on it, made him quicker to the baseball. And like I said, from August 13th on, he had 14 home runs and hit well in the postseason, too.
Here's Eric Chavez. Off-speed pitch. It's almost like he had two different seasons. His first, was that 80? 88 games, 239, 10 home runs, and 33 runs batted. In his last 48 games, 261, 14 homers, and 34 runs batted. He really did change a lot.
Talked to Curtis before the game today. He went to New Zealand, and of course we know what recently happened to New Zealand, a tragic earthquake, but he was on the other island, the Northern Island. He was in Auckland. The earthquake unfortunately happened for the people down in Christchurch, New Zealand.
1-1.
He went over there and helped out Major League Baseball to sell the baseball worldwide. And he told me that a lot of Americans have moved to New Zealand. They're making their homes there now.
When you really have to sit down with the family and make a decision, honey, let's go to New Zealand.
Imagine throwing that one out at the dinner table.
The 1-2. Because that's a long way. You told me before the game that that's a longer trip than Japan.
It's longer than Japan, and
And this is Curtis while he was in New Zealand. He's an unbelievable ambassador for the game of baseball. He travels so much.
Kid laid out, making the catch.
Strike 3. Chavez down looking. He thought it was a little bit high.
So did I.
Catcher, Jesus Montero.
We'll get another look.
Not bad.
It's more of a strike than I thought.
Here's Jesus Montero. Good at bat his first time up, fouling off pitches against Blanton and then hitting a screaming liner at Polanco. That one a ground ball is short. Rollins will go the short way to get the force, and that'll do it. But the Yankees get on the board. A walk to Gardner, and then Curtis Granderson goes the other way. Deposited over the wall in left center field. A 2-run shot, and the Yankees lead 2-0.
How can your car respond to over 10,000 voice commands? Get the all-new Ford Edge with My Ford Touch. It even reads your text messages. During the Leadership Sales Drive, lease an all-new Edge for just $229 a month. Smartest crossover. Phenomenal deal at your Tri-State Ford dealer.
The cookie cutter carpool. A box on wheels. Vanilla. Maybe you're into that whole snooze cruiser thing. And that's okay. Then chances are you won't be into this. Performance engineered. The one and only Mazda 3. The driver's alternative to Corolla and Civic. Now get the Mazda 3 for only $149 a month.
I also will my private jet, my island in the Maldives, and full control of the family business to my soulmate, Angel. Finally, to my only son, Chauncey, I bequeath my DirecTV and its vast collection of 6,000 shows and movies.
DirecTV now gives you instant access to 6,000 shows and movies at no extra charge.
Yeah! Whoa! Thank you! Yeah!
Don't just watch TV, DirecTV.
Leadership isn't given, it's earned. And the all-new Ford Edge is a proven leader with the best fuel economy in its class. During our Leadership Sales Drive, you can lease an all-new Edge all-wheel drive for just $229 a month. Unbeatable value, incredible deal at your Tri-State Ford dealer.
We go to the bottom of the 4th inning at Bright House Field here in Clearwater. And on the Cadillac scoreboard, Yankees lead 2-0 on the strength of Curtis Granderson's 2-run home run in the top of the 4th inning. New pitcher for the Yankees is Boone Logan. We've already seen Ivan Nova and Sergio Mitre. And now we get a chance to talk to our good buddy, the manager of the Yankees, Joe Girardi. Joe, how you doing?
I'm great, Michael. Kenny, how are you today?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Are you a little exhausted after your first day of 9 innings yesterday?
Well, that game was a bit exhausting, Joe.
You know, we don't ask our guys to go 9 innings out there.
No, Posada had one swing yesterday, and that was his day.
Yeah, it was a tough day.
All right, let's talk about Nova. From up here, Joe, he looked really, really impressive. We had him at 96 on the gun on one fastball. What did you see?
He looked really good, and you can tell by the ground ball outs he's got. His ball was down in the zone, it was sinking, and he threw some good curveballs. So we were pleased with what we saw.
Now, last year, I guess if you wanted to say a negative about Ivan, you'd say, wow, he lost his stuff after the 5th inning. Did he lose his stuff after the 5th inning because he lost confidence, or did he run out of gas? What's your take on that?
You know, I was asked that question about 10 different ways this morning as I was dealing, with the media, and I said, you think about the time of year that he pitched in. I mean, it's not easy to pitch in the month of August and September when you're in a race with the Rays and the Red Sox. And to me, what it seemed like was when he got in an inning into some trouble, he had a hard time getting out of it. And that's what we have to work on.
Nice play by Laird as Victorino is out.
You know, pitchers will always talk about, and coaches, limit the damage. And at times, he had a tough time doing that last year.
You know, it's so interesting to me the way your team is constructed, Joe, and I wonder if that's going to go into who you select for the open spots in the rotation. You've got one of the best bullpens in baseball. You could really shorten games. Are you looking for a guy? Maybe if Nova gives you 6 innings, you'd be thrilled. 5 2/3 every start. Are you looking at it that way, or you say, hey, I want these guys to go 7, and if anything happens, then we'll adjust?
Well, the best case scenario is if you can have your pitchers get you into the 7th and 8th all the time. I mean, that's the best case scenario. But because of the strength of our bullpen, if it doesn't happen, I believe that we can you know, shut the other teams down with our bullpen and give us a chance to come back.
From what you saw from Nova today, Joe, what's his next step? How much longer does he go in the ball game next time out?
He'll go 3 innings, probably up to 45, 50 pitches. And, you know, at some point when they start struggling, you know, if they're doing really well and they're not getting enough pitches, they might finish in the bullpen. But we have some interesting things going on because there's some guys that we want to see as well. And you might see some of our starters working out of the bullpen for an inning and then setting them up for a start later on. And that's going to happen a few times to some of our guys.
Now, one guy that we were excited about watching, Joe, and you've been seeing him since he reported to camp, is the kid, Jesus Montero, behind the plate right now, catching Boone Logan. As a former catcher, world championship catcher, what are you seeing? Is he much better defensively than he was last year?
I really think so. And what I see is a young man that has learned how to relax back there and just allow his tools to take over. And, you know, as a catcher, sometimes the game can move fast because you're responsible for so much, but he sits so much easier. He looks comfortable. That's trouble, Michael.
Deep to center.
You got a little sunball here.
Makes the play, Granderson does. Now, I'm going to ask you something that's probably going to offend you as a former great defensive catcher. If this guy hits 280 with 35 bombs and 125 ribbies, do you even care if he boxes balls back there?
I do. Of course I do. Because, you know, the game's built on pitching and defense. And we believe that he's going to continue to improve. And he's not going to do that. And I hope that the first part of your equation comes true as well.
Joe, speaking of Granderson and the home run to left field, I can't remember him hitting a home run to left field.
No, he's changed.
That's a good sign.
Yes. I mean, you look at the last 2.5 months, and I'm including the playoffs last year. This is a different hitter. And he started holding onto the bat with 2 hands instead of letting go, and quieted down some. He doesn't quite have as much movement in his pre-swing mode, and he's a different guy.
Logan deals to Howard. This is a big matchup because this is when Logan would be coming in during the season to face the tough left-hander. One quick thing more about Montero, Joe. Are you guys somewhat loath to have him be the backup catcher, or would you be okay with that, or would you rather him be at AAA and catch every day?
You know, Michael, Jorge broke in catching a couple times, 3 times a week, twice a week.
Right.
When he came up. And, you know, it's a lot to handle to ask a young guy to catch every day at this level. You look what San Francisco did with their young catcher last year. I mean, he didn't break in starting every day. He went to the minor leagues a little bit, and then he came up and he played a little first base and caught once or twice a week. And by the end, Buster Posey was their everyday guy. It's not such a bad thing because you can learn a lot by sitting there and watching and learning your pitching staff. And it's not as much pressure put on you that first year you're in the big leagues.
Also became Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, he didn't do too bad, did he?
The count 2-1 on Howard. That one is laced and to right center for a base hit.
Looked like he got a pitch up there for Howard.
Yeah, and that's the thing that Booney does. I mean, he knows what he has to do. He has to get the ball down in the zone, and it makes it easier when you have a lefty on a lefty if they leave the ball up because it seems like it's so much closer to you.
Yeah, we got the replay here, John. The target was low and away. The pitch was actually up and away, but with Howard's long arms, he actually reached out and hooked that ball into to the right side of the field.
And a lot of times you'll see him take that ball the other way. So, I mean, and he'll hit balls out the other way. So, I mean, anytime he hits a single and when he gets a hit, you got to consider yourself pretty fortunate.
Here's Placido Polanco against Boone. Pitch inside. Red Auerbach, former GM, president of the Celtics, once said the toughest thing to do is be the GM of a team with veterans or to be the manager of a coach with veterans. Is it tough dealing, Joe, with Jorge Posada, who's very proud of the fact that he was a catcher and now he's a DH, and has he accepted it?
You know what? He's been outstanding. The way he's handled this, the way he's instructed our young catchers, he's communicated with them. He came in a great frame of mind. And, you know, it's hard. It's hard for any of us to change positions or maybe not to play every day. Or, you know, the worst case scenario is when you retire. It's an adjustment. But I think he's been great.
Will he catch it all during the year?
I don't know, Michael. I mean, our plan is not to catch him. Our plan is to have him to be our everyday DH. But, you know, circumstances a lot of time dictate what you do during the course of the season.
In terms of you have Gardner leading off today, are you set, Joe, in that Derek is going to lead off until further notice?
Now, I mean, what we're going to do over the next couple weeks is we're just going to look at our lineup, and we might do some different things and play with it. And you know, we signed Derek to hit up there and to score runs and hit for a high average. And, you know, even though he had somewhat of a year where his average wasn't high, he still scored over 100 runs. And that's what you ask from the guys at the top of the order. So, as far as scoring runs, he did a good job last year.
Another intriguing decision you have to make is who's going to bat behind that leadoff guy. That one is driven to center field, and we're going to have to wait a long time to find out that answer.
Well, Ryan Howard thinks we're playing 4 outs here.
Joe catches everything. Joe,
it's spring training.
We will talk to you soon.
Thanks, Michael. Kenny.
Thank you.
No runs ahead and 1 man left. Let's go to the 5th. 2-0 Yanks.
There's no force like the one that comes from joining forces. No strength like strength in numbers. The kind of numbers delivered by Ram 1500, a 390 horsepower Hemi V8, 20 MPG, a 5-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Strength in numbers. Now, during Ram Truck Month.
Get the 2011 Ram 1500 Bighorn 4x4 with a no extra charge Hemi V8 for $299 a month for well-qualified lessees.
Hello. Dunkin' Donuts has reinvented the chocolate donut.
I know. They're delicious.
Introducing Dunkin's all-new Cocoa Donuts, like our fantastic reverse Boston cream. Try them all. America runs on Dunkin'.
Verizon has thousands of representatives and technicians, and we're right here on Long Island, ready to go that extra mile for you.
This is their neighborhood, so it kind of makes a difference.
I work where I live, and I run into these customers all the time, so I want to make sure that they're happy.
From the second we called to set up the appointment to the installation, couldn't have gone better.
We're committed to bringing the best in entertainment to where you live, because we live here too.
People say, how is Fios really? And I say, listen, it's not because I work for Verizon. It is a much better product. Fios is unbelievable.
It's comparable to the Camry.
Why do so many car companies compare themselves to Camry? Maybe it's because Camry is the #1 selling car in America. Or because Camry was named an excellent value by IntelliChoice.com. Right now, you can lease a Toyota Camry for just $189 a month, or get 0% APR for 60 months. And when you lease or finance Camry, get an additional $500 in down payment assistance. We're #1 for a reason. Come see for yourself. Hurry in for the best selection.
Hey, today after the game, don't miss the live premiere of Yankee Spring Training Report presented by Lincoln as the Yes Network team breaks down the big storylines from Yankees camp, including player interviews, injury updates, and more. Yankees Spring Training Report, it premieres today after the game. It's only on Yes. DeFreitas in his second inning of work deals to Eduardo Nunez, and there is a strike, and the 5th inning is underway here at Bright House Field.
Good interview with the manager Joe Girardi, and behind the cage before the game today as we look at our Audi scoreboard. Oh. The Freitas makes the stop and makes the play. There's 1 out. I was talking to Joe about when he started to think about becoming a major league manager. And he said...
Is that between us?
No. Although he did say he liked the job up here. He said that when he was still playing and sitting next to Zimmer and Mel Stoudemire and Joe Torre in the Yankee dugout, just listening to them and how a game was being run. That's when he really started to think that, you know, he wanted to flip a coin, whether being a manager or coach. Of course, he was a coach first and then a manager, or working in the front office. But he said just sitting next to those 3 guys kind of steered him towards what he's doing today, be a major league manager.
You know, you mentioned, and we joked about the fact that, you know, he broadcasted for us here at Yes, and he was very, very good. And I once asked him, I said, Joe, why do you want to manage? I said, there's no pressure up here like that. And he said, you know why? He said, because they don't keep score up here. He said, you know, some person could tell you had a great game, another person could tell you had a really bad game. He said, there's no scoreboard. He said, there's no competition to outscore the other announcer. He goes, I think that drives me a bit.
Well, you know, I still have a competitive edge, but it's certainly not up here. I mean, out on the golf course with my buddies, I don't want to pay for lunch, you know? But that you can't play anymore, and it's hard to lose that competitive nature when you've been that way for how many years since you've been playing ball in Little League?
Here's Ramiro Pena. I thought it was very interesting what he said during the inning, because, again, maybe I missed it, but this is the first time I've seen him say this or heard it articulated. It sounded almost like he was leaning toward he wouldn't mind having Montero be the backup catcher.
And you know, when you think back, how did Jorge break in?
Yep. And there was a slow transition too. Girardi caught the majority of the games one year, a little less the next year, and then Jorge caught more. So they don't think it would retard his progress as a hitter. And I think that if Francisco Cervelli or Austin Romine are listening to the broadcast and heard that, they know they have to have a good spring.
Yeah, that's what competition's about.
Cervelli had a good game yesterday.
Yeah, he did. He ripped that double down the third base line. I think it was one of the first 2 pitches he saw in spring.
2-1. 3-1. Now Ramiro Pena's in a battle, because if Chavez makes the team, they carry one backup infielder other than Chavez. Is going to be Nunez, who played very well coming up in August last year, or is it going to be Pena, who's been in that role the last couple of years? Again, it comes down to who's going to have the better spring. Count is full. And that's the candidate for the backup infield battle. Belliard was in the lineup today, but was scratched late, calf injury, I believe. And I got to be honest, Belliard looks heavy, and you wonder if that's the reason he pulled the muscle. But I can't play doctor up here, but he does look heavy. Those are the 4 guys that are going to battle.
Nunez was impressive last year at AAA. He hit 289. He comes up to the big leagues, hits 280.
Yeah.
And he can play short, second, and third. He's got speed. He stole 23 bases at AAA and was not caught at the big league level. 5-0.
High pop-up. Let the battle of the sun on that one. Not an easy play. Ibanez is there, and he'll make the play for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. At the end of 4.5 innings of play, we are halfway through. Yankees up by 2.
This storm is an absolute
10 states
monster.
are under winter weather alert.
Yourself, New York.
1,000 cars stuck down. cars are literally just parked.
They closed the interstates in Iowa. All the 10,000 flights have been canceled due to heavy snowfall.
You do not want to be out there today, folks.
Experience Quattro and all its power at your local Audi dealer today.
It's the bottom of the 9th. Full count. It all comes down to this pitch. Darryl steps up to the plate. It could be. It could be. It's gone. Darryl has done it again.
Easton Stealth Speed Bat, $169.99. Everything baseball. Sports Authority, all things sporting good.
So how's London?
Oh, it's amazing.
Dad, can I use the car?
Let me check.
Introducing Buick's new mobile app. It lets you check and control your lacrosse right from your smartphone, from almost anywhere.
Okay, we promise to have it back by 10.
Thanks, Dad.
Hey, I'll start it up for you.
Seriously. Oh, come on.
Current vehicle owners celebrate President's Day and sign and drive this lacrosse for $349 per month, with nothing due at signing.
Get warmed up for a new baseball season with the Yankees Spring Training Report on Yes. With player interviews, workout highlights, and clubhouse news, our experts are on site in Tampa to break down the big storylines from Bombers camp. Prospects, position battles, injury updates, and more. Yankees Spring Training Report presented by Lincoln premieres today after the game, only on Yes.
Well, basketball fans, tomorrow the newest net, Darren Williams, makes his Newark debut against the Suns. Complete coverage starts at 6:30 with the Nets pregame. Then after the postgame, catch the all-new GMC Presents Center Stage with Michael Kay as NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman discusses the sports growth in the United States. It all starts at 6:30, only on Yes.
Well, one of the cool things about spring, and we mentioned this before, is you get a chance to see the person behind the name and the reputation and the stories and the promise. And this is one of your own, everybody. This is a local kid, Dellin Betances, and he's one of the killer bees in the Yankee system.
I thought you were talking about Jack Curry.
Well, yeah, we know about Jack Curry. And Jack Curry knows about Dellin Betances, don't you, Jack?
Michael, you're absolutely right. I think fans and include reporters as well, you look forward to seeing a kid like this because you've heard so much about him. You're right. He's a local kid. Yankees like his stuff. He's going to throw a fastball that'll usually be around 92 to 96. He's got a knuckle curve, and he's got a changeup. And I talked to one American League scout who said, you grade pitches on a 20 to 80 scale. He said he could be a 70 with all three of those pitches.
Pitch to Dominic Brown is high, and he has his family and friends watching back in the metropolitan area. Went to high school in Brooklyn, was born in Washington Heights. Whew. And he's certainly, he's from the area. This is a dream come true for him playing for the Yankees.
It absolutely is. I asked him before the game if he had any butterflies, and he was eating a bag of peanuts, and he looked as cool as could be, and he said, well, I don't have any yet. But he clearly wanted to get out there. He wants to show what he can do. And the Yankees believe he is has the stuff to be a legitimate #1 starter.
Pitch is high. Now, he's already gone through, it seems like, the requisite Tommy John surgery, and he has bounced back from it nicely.
He said after the surgery, he got more confident. He felt that his durability increased. And Michael Kenny, he told me the other day, he said, I want to be in the major leagues this year. He said, I'd be lying if I told you I didn't want to make the jump. Now, that would be a huge jump for a guy who so far has only had 3 starts at the AA level. But the Yankees really like his stuff, and we can see it already in this first at-bat. I mean, he's an imposing figure out there.
43rd best prospect in baseball, rated by Baseball America. Swing and a miss. And he gets Dominic Brown on strikes.
Interesting thing, guys, about his knuckle curveball. I asked him, how did you develop a knuckle curveball? And here we're going to see the strikeout pitch. And he said a kid in high school, one of his high school teammates said to him, look what I throw. And just in a side session, he stole that grip from his teammate, changed it a little, said he keeps his index finger a little bit underneath the ball, but it's turned out to be a terrific pitch for him. The hitters who faced him in batting practice the other day, guys like Posada and Cano and Jeter, said he throws a very heavy ball.
Well, you can just tell by the sound, not on that particular pitch because it's a breaking ball, but just by the sound of the ball pounding into the glove of Montero, that it's got some force behind it. And you're right about, first of all, you got a mound, then you put somebody 6'7" out there. That is very imposing for a hitter.
That's an imposing battery for the Yankees. You'd like to have them on a basketball choose-up team as well. Montero's big and Betances is big. Now, the Yankees about 5-6 years ago, they rededicated themselves to the way they drafted, and they're hoping that now's the time it starts to bear fruit. They kept taking pitchers, and we talked about the killer bees, Andrew Brackman, Manuel Banuelos, and Dellin Betances. Those three they really like, and they have a chance at some point to be up.
And Damon Oppenheimer, their vice president of scouting, talked about that, Michael. And there we see another strong fastball from Betances. Exactly what you said, the focus on pitching. And because also the Yankees, as a team that is perennially in the postseason, they're going to draft low in that first round. And Oppenheimer said you almost have to sometimes pick prep players. Wow.
95 miles an hour for the second strikeout.
2 no-chance swings in a row. This is just pure power, folks. Up in the zone, you can't get on top of it.
Gut feeling, Jack, from the people you talk to. Any chance this kid just blows people away in spring training and makes the team?
I think there's a chance. Do I think it's going to happen? No, because I think he's young enough that the Yankees will want to give him a little more seasoning. But what we're seeing right here, and Kenny just talked about those 2 at-bats, could you imagine this guy, and the Yankees don't have this need right now, could you imagine if they just brought him in as a short reliever and tried to work him into the majors that way? I mean, you bring this guy in the 8th inning and just blow people away.
Ruiz fouls back. I think that in the back of Brian Cashman, the Yankee GM's mind, was if they didn't get a guy like Soriano, that they would have used some of these kids in that role as a flamethrower coming out of the bullpen, almost what they did with Jabba.
Absolutely. And getting back to your earlier question, anything is possible. I mean, if Betances goes out there and has 12 or 14 or 15 overpowering innings this spring, maybe the Yankees look at their roster and say, this guy is one of the 12 best pitchers we can take north with us. We're not going to look at the age or the fact that he's only had a little bit of few starts at AA. We're going to bring him with us.
I think back to a few years ago when the Yankees brought up Chin-Ming Wong and Robinson Cano at the same time. I can see that scenario working out. You know, they waited until about May, I think it was. End of
April.
End of April.
Yep.
They brought them both up, and Chin-Ming Wong contributed right away. I also think that of the 3 you mentioned, Andrew Brackman, he's the one who's most advanced because he's had the most experience. But right now he's battling a groin injury. So I think if the Chen-Ming Wang scenario played out, maybe Brackman would have the best chance of being called up. But
that last pitch was 97 miles an hour. Breaking ball is outside, so Ruiz has worked the count full.
As you said at the top of the inning, though, Michael, this is what makes spring training fun and interesting. You get to see guys like this, and fans who are watching right now, you know they're going to want to know when's the next time this kid is going to be on the mound.
Yeah, you can see as hard as he throws, maybe not quite fine-tuned yet. It's still early in the spring. But when he gets to the point where he can put that ball just about where he wants to and throw the pitch out of the strike zone when he wants to, just get hitters to chase, that's when you become a real pitcher.
What the Yankees have been known for with their young pitchers is they put them on strict innings limits. And I would think that's one of the reasons Betances can't make the team as a starter out of spring training, because I don't think he can get to 200 innings this year.
No, I don't think he would either. You're absolutely right. You would have the Betances rules. There's no doubt about that. But you do have to go forward and believe that he could be an impactful guy at some point this season. I asked Brian Cashman the question you asked me earlier, and Cashman threw out names like Brackman and Betances and Phelps and Warren. He said you might see all of these guys at some point this year. Now, what role it is it rotation, is it bullpen? No one knows yet. But the Yankees, when they lost out on Cliff Lee, did say to themselves, listen, this is the guy we really wanted, but in our own organization, we feel we have guys coming up that could help fill in the gaps that we now have.
The big right-hander deals the 1-1. Now, you know that people have other teams have scouts scouting this game, and those are the killer bees and what they did last season and at what level. And if the Yankees do want to get a veteran pitcher at the end of June, beginning of July, the first names out of the GM's mouth will be Brackman, Betances, or Banuelos. And the Yankees have to decide how much do they want the veteran pitcher and how important are these guys.
We don't know who that pitcher is going to be, Michael, but I have to believe if I'm Brian Cashman, I have a hard time parting with any of those three pitchers. I know that someone could shake loose who's a top of the rotation guy, but you hear the Yankees talk about those three pitchers, and unless they're really getting a number 1 or 1A type, I wonder if they'd be willing to get rid of those guys.
An impressive fifth inning for Dellin Betances. He strikes out 3. Dominic Brown, Ben Francisco, Wilson Valdez hit the gun at 97. Impressive. Cup final comes to yes when Arsenal faces Birmingham at Wembley Stadium in London. The Gunners look for their first trophy of the season as they take on the Blues in this classic knockout competition. It all starts Tuesday at 7:30 with a full preview on Arsenal 360 right here on Yes. I got to tell you, that was an exciting inning. I mean, to see that young kid who knows that his family and friends are watching back in New York step on the mound and perform the way he did in impressive, dominating fashion, that was kind of neat to watch.
The school's in session, too, in the dugout. That's Larry Rothschild, the new Yankee pitching coach, and I'm sure he's excited about what he saw.
New pitcher is Michael Schwimmer for the Phillies, and he deals to Brett Gardner. Pitches low. Now, we mentioned earlier, Jack, that Gardner is working on his bunting, and you talked to him at length, and that's something that he has dedicated himself to.
Right, Michael. There was one afternoon after a workout where the field was empty, so empty, in fact, that the sprinklers were already on in the outfield, but Gardner and a couple of coaches were on the field for about an extra half an hour, and all he did, he must have bunted between 50 and 60 balls, and I tell you what, it got to a point where he was putting the ball exactly where he wanted. He told me that in the minor leagues, he really used that as a big element of his game. But you get to the major leagues, he said, you want to show people you can hit. He got away from it. He thought that once in the minor leagues, he had 26 or 27 bunt hits. And he said he would like to try and get back to that.
Well, one thing, though, when he does not look that great bunting at the big league level. When he tries to bunt, he seems like he struggles. When he gets it down, he gets a hit because he has great speed.
I remember Juan Pierre, who I think is the best bunter in baseball, told me once, you have to get the ball down.
Hot shot down the left field line. It's going to be extra bases. It goes into the corner. Gardner is hustling to second. He'll make the turn there, but he's going to stop with a leadoff double.
You know, Michael, when you and I were in Chicago last year, and I don't remember if Jack was there, Juan Pierre before every game was out there bunting for at least 10 minutes. And that's he led the league in bunt signals. Don't need a bunt here. Pitch out over the plate, slaps it by Polanco at third down the line, and an extra base hit to get things started.
But to finish that point, guys, Pierre said that too many guys try to almost bunt and run, even at the major league level. He said if you're a good enough bunter and you have speed, get the bunt down and then start to run. And Gardner said yes, that sometimes it's a tough thing to do to sell yourself. Let me get the bunt down and then run.
Nick Swisher, a hot shot past Ryan Howard. That goes down the right field line. Gardner will score easily. Nick Swisher just jogs into second with an RBI double. And the Yankees now lead 3-0. So Swisher with his first hit of the spring.
You were talking about the second spot in the order, Michael, how that could be used by various players. Swisher batted quite a bit, quite often in the second spot last year. And I think one of the things the Yankee fans will be surprised to know, since 2006, only one player in the league has walked more than Nick Swisher, and that's Big Papi, who certainly gets a lot of respect. But Nick Swisher, who's now in the dugout, is pinch runner for him.
Jordan Perez takes over, pitches outside to Granderson.
And Swisher will say, Kenny, I'll hit wherever they want me to, but I think if you really pinned him down, he loves hitting in the #2 spot.
Well, you got Teixeira and A-Rod right behind you. He usually runs deep counts, which helps them and helps the whole team.
Now, Jack, I've got to ask you this, because down on the field before the game, so many people on the Phillies side came up to me and asked me, well, what's the deal with Liriano? And the Liriano they mean is Francisco Liriano of the Twins, and there are rumors that he might be on the trade block. What are you hearing?
Well, the Twins have put that out there, Michael, and I think that the Twins, in their own way, they believe Liriano is a very solid pitcher, but this is a guy they're probably going to eventually lose to free agency. I think some of his work ethic issues have gotten to them. That's what you hear rumblings of. But what I say to that is he's still a very good major league pitcher, and the Twins are trying to win that division. He's at the top of their rotation with Pavano. If a team is that anxious to trade a guy, I would be hesitant if I was on the other end, that the Twins were trying to pull a move on you and let you take the guy in his salary and then maybe ransack your farm system.
Swing and a miss on the change, because it is unusual, and the Twins are so good with the way they run their team. They don't really make mistakes like that they're dangling a guy like Liriano out there. It does send up some warning flares.
I would be suspicious.
Grounded to first, and Granderson does the job and more as the ball trickles through the legs of Howard. Granderson will go to second. Scoring easily is Perez, and the Yankees now lead 4-0. Little Bill Buckner redux right there with a lot less on the line.
Wow. E3. Now, Ryan Howard, of course, is known for his bat, but he's improved his fielding. But he's got some work to do this spring. Pulled the glove up too soon. Made his move too soon. Looked like a ground ball was going to be effective getting the runner over to third. Instead, Granderson's at second, and the Yankees have a chance to score even more.
That was so weird if you looked at that replay. It really looked like the Buckner Mookie Wilson play in the 1986 series.
Even to the point at the end, you're right, Michael, where he kind of he stumbled a little bit. The stakes obviously immeasurably different than they were back in 1986. But
Granderson takes off and steals third easily as Schwimmer never looked at him. So a stolen base for Granderson.
Got to tell you guys a quick Howard anecdote. Kenny mentioned, obviously, this guy is known for his hitting. Watching him taking batting practice on one of the back fields, one of the Phillies officials told me they tell people who work here, don't park behind this field. What happened during Ryan Howard's batting practice? He crushed a car. I don't know what happened, but you could hear the ball hit the car, and you knew there was going to be sizable damage.
They have the same thing in Orlando at the Braves camp when Jason Hayward they have Hayward tents, that they put the tents over the executive cars because he broke some windows last year. Now, our guys in the truck, guys and gals in the truck, they're magicians. They have actually queued up the Buckner play. So if you're a Met fan, be happy. If you're a Red Sox fan, turn away.
Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Now, there's also a story to that ball, which kind of hooks into something present day and also Yankee history.
Where is it?
Well, I don't know where it is right now, but the umpire picked up the ball and gave it to Arthur Richmond, the late Arthur Richmond, who used to work for the Mets and then came over as a senior executive with the Yankees. That one is lined in the left center field off the bat of Posada. That'll get into the gap. Granderson scores easily. Posada will be at second with an RBI double, and the Yankees piling it on here against the Phillies as they now lead 5-0. Anyway, Arthur Richmond had the ball and then put it up for auction for charity. And you know who bought the ball for $85,000? Charlie Sheen. Wow. Who's a big sports fan, a big collector, and I think that Charlie Sheen has since sold the ball, so I don't know where it is right now. So Jorge Posada's day is over as he picks up that double.
Michael, one more similarity between those two plays. We heard the play-by-play, both of Fordham graduates, you and Vin Scully. How about that?
And you too. I don't need Bono and Edge. You also a Fordham graduate. The Buckner play watching, it was a little bit closer to the line than the ground ball by Granderson. Bill Buckner is, I read somewhere he's managing in the minor leagues, I think. High fly ball, left center of the bat of Chavez, battling the sun, the two Philly outfielders, but it's finally put away.
Now, since the Red Sox have won the World Series a couple times, I think the Red Sox fans have kind of forgiven him somewhat for that gap.
It's kind of unfair, too, because he was a really fine player, and he's always going to be identified with that play. But he came close to getting 3,000 hits, and if he did the 3,000 hits, he'd be a Hall of Famer. But everybody connects Bill Buckner with that play.
And a lot happened in and around that inning and even in the next game.
Montero with a ground ball through the left side for a base hit. They're going to send the runner. Here's the throw. Here's the play. In there. An RBI single for Montero. As Daniel Brewer scores.
What is impressive about this base hit, he actually breaks his bat and still gets it by with enough authority. Off the end of the bat, gets it by Polanco at third. Imagine if he hit it solidly. Polanco would have had no chance. Broken bat, solid single to left field, drives in a run.
Kenny, I know talking to Brian Cashman about Montero, he said, listen, we know this guy can hit at the major league level. That there's no doubt he's hit at every level. He's a .314 career minor league hitter. He's got to show us he can do it from the defensive side.
Let's see if they can turn two on the Speedy Nunez. They do. And around the horn, 5-4-3 double play. But the Yankees score 4 runs here in the 6th inning. We thank Jack Curry. We'll talk to him later. Yankees are up 6-0.
What genius wrote the rule on SUVs? That more space means you have to drive something as aerodynamic as an elephant. Ever seen an elephant in a wind tunnel? That can't be good. The stylish and sophisticated 7-passenger Mazda CX-9 and the 5-passenger Mazda CX-7, the driver's alternative to chunky SUVs. Now get a Mazda CX-9 with all-wheel drive for only $289 a month.
What if you could combine America's most advanced fiber optic network with America's most loved mobile device? Wouldn't that be something? Control your TV, manage your DVR remotely, and with a flick of a finger, send pictures straight to your flat screen with the Fios app for iPhone. To get more from your iPhone wherever you are, you need Verizon Fios, a network ahead.
There's no force like the one that comes from joining forces. No strength like strength in numbers. The kind of numbers delivered by Ram 1500, a 390 horsepower Hemi V8, 20 MPG, a 5-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Strength in numbers. Now, during Ram Truck Month.
Get the 2011 Ram 1500 Bighorn 4x4 with a no extra charge Hemi V8 for $299 a month for well-qualified lessees.
It's a new era in Newark as the Nets home crowd welcomes Darren Williams. Tomorrow, the Nets' new point guard looks to start a winning tradition in the East when they host Vince Carter and the Suns. Suns, Nets. Complete coverage starts tomorrow at 6:30 with the Nets pregame, only on Yes.
It's all Yankees so far as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, 6-0. So why don't we take a look at the game summary presented by Lincoln. 6-5-0 for the Yankees, 0-2-1 for the Phillies. Nova was very impressive. 2 innings, 2 strikeouts, 4 ground balls, and up there in the mid-90s fastball-wise. Granderson with a 2-run home run, important because it was the other way. And Dylan Betances, the kid from New York City, wow, struck out the side, hit 97 on the gun, and he just looked outstanding. And that is the game summary at this point as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. And now another intriguing inning, because we see another pitcher that the Yankees think very highly of, and that's Adam Warren.
And Adam Warren, a right-hander, comes in. Yankees have made several defensive changes. We'll get to them in just a moment, including a new catcher in the ball game. That's Gustavo Molina, who's now catching.
So the new battery is Molina and Warren. Now that's no relation to the catching Molina brothers. Same name, same position.
Maybe a cousin.
Jimmy Rollins is 0 for 2. And there's a strike. Warren has a chance to make this team. This is what he did in Trenton. 10 starts, 4.23, .15. Look at the strikeouts.
Strikeout to walk ratio. 59 punch-outs, 16 walks.
The Yankee system really filled with impressive young pitchers, and they are on the come. That one's driven to right field and deep. Perez back. He's on the track in front of the wall. He'll put it away for the first out.
Rollins lost a home run because the wind is blowing from right to left.
Let's take a look at all the changes with a defensive schematic. If you're keeping score at home, please stop. But if you are, we will help you out. We'll get that to you in a second. Shane Victorino will dig in. So Crum is in left, Mesa in center, and Perez is in right. Subtle, Bernier, Nunez, and Chavez left to right in the infield. Molina behind the plate, and Warren is on the mound.
Warren's one of those pitchers out of college, University of North Carolina. He's a Tar Heel. 4th round, 2009.
Now the Yankees might be the only organization, Kenny, in the history of the game to produce 2 Melkys. Melky Cabrera and then Melky Mesa is in center. So Victorino works a walk against Adam Warren. You would think these young kids that know that even if they can't make the team right now, that if the Yankees need pitching in the middle of the season, they're going to be thinking about what they saw here and what they do in the minors. How you don't take the mound for the first time and you're a little bit too geeked up. Because we saw that with Phelps yesterday, who said he got fastball happy and got into some trouble. I mean, you get excited. You're normal. You're young.
Plus, you know, somebody's always watching. A lot of scouts in attendance in spring training games, and they usually sit right behind the home plate area. You know, they got their radar guns, they got their charts, they make notes, and they a lot of it's about watching the pitching from other organizations. I was talking to Billy Epler the other day, director of pro scouting for the Yankees, and he was talking about Larry Rothschild and the way he has all his pitchers throw early in the morning in spring training. He used to tell his scouts, if you want to see a particular Cub pitcher pitch on the side throwing, you better get there early. The Cubs train in Arizona, of course, so he would tell them, get there early, because Rothschild's going to have him on the mound at 8 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning. If you get there just before game time, that guy's already thrown and probably on his way back to his house.
Warren makes it close at first as Victorino dives back. There's Larry Rothschild, the new pitching coach.
And, of course, Larry Rothschild has continued that, having his pitchers throw early here with the Yankees.
Always wondered why, like, the Yankee infield is not here today. But they were in Tampa, and they got to Tampa early to do their work.
Yeah.
And Bobby Valentine, who's now with ESPN, when he was the Met manager, he would say, except for the Cubs, he said every team plays about 75 to 80% of their games at night. Why wouldn't you have people report to spring training workouts at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and prepare towards 7, do those 3 hours then, rather than go 9 to 12 or 8 to 11? He never really did it, but he always wondered out loud that might be a good idea to do. Warren, long set.
It's a good idea, but then, you know, if you have your practices that late, you couldn't play golf after.
You can play golf before, couldn't you?
Yeah, maybe you could, but a lot of guys don't get up that early.
But they got to get up early to work.
That's right, to get ready for the baseball season.
Runner goes, 3-2, foul back.
You know, we were talking yesterday about the Phillies and their stolen base percentage, how good it was under Davey Lopes, who's now with the Dodgers. You got an example. You've got Victorino. Last year stole 34 bases, got caught only 6 times. You got Jimmy Rollins, stole 17 bases, got caught once. You got Polanco, stole 5 without being caught. Francisco stole 8 without being caught.
Runner goes, popped up. Bradley Suttle makes the play. You know, when you look at Warren and we talk about the killer bees, Warren's probably on that next level underneath it. Warren, Phelps, who we saw yesterday, Noesi, who we saw as well. And Warren's one of these kids you don't see very often. Spent full 4 years at UNC.
Yeah.
In college, they use you a lot as a pitcher. I mean, I'm not going to say the word abuse. That's not fair, but they use you a lot. And professional GMs are overlooking your use. Coaches want to win. They also want to develop. But since he's got to the system, the Yankees have built him back up to 95, 96 with the fastball. He's not throwing that yet. He's at 91, 92. But he has certainly moved up in the pecking order. And he's that second level of prospect with the Yankees.
Yeah, I agree with you about the college pitchers, though. The coaches get paid to win games.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a scout, you really have to watch these guys and see how much they've been used during the course of their careers.
And we've seen pitchers who really were abused. Adam Warren wasn't. But really, when they got to the big leagues, their arms just shredded from overwork. 1-1.
Good changeup.
Mm-hmm. So you got the killer bees, and then you got Warren, Phelps, and Noesi. And here's the changeup from Adam Warren.
Watch it just dive down and away. Good movement, good location.
Born in North Carolina, graduated from North Carolina with a degree in business administration. Yankees took him in the 4th round. Runner goes. Throw to second. Not in time.
Whoa.
Mark Carlson is the second base umpire now. Gustavo Molina thought he got him.
Doug Bernier must have missed the tag because it looked like the ball got there ahead of Victorino. And sometimes when that happens, they just call you out for general principles. High fastball. Molina steps into the throw. It's accurate. Now he got underneath the tag. Here's another look.
I don't know. I mean, Bernier had his leg in front of the bag. There's no way that Victorino could have gotten to it. I think he might have been out.
If he did, it was his right foot that got in there.
He's blocking the bag, which is great. I think he slid right into his leg before he got to the bag.
Wow. Man, played him.
Now, you don't want Jeter and Cano doing that in the second game of spring training, but Doug Bernier is trying to impress. Adam Warren impresses. Breaking ball drops in for a strike. He strikes out Ryan Howard. No runs, no hits, and 1 man left. Why don't we go to the 7th? It's 6-0 Yanks.
It's comparable to Toyota. Our car.
Why do so many car companies compare themselves to Toyota? Maybe it's because Toyota is the #1 choice among consumers. Or because 80% of Toyotas sold in the last 20 years are still on the road today. And right now, you could lease a reliable new Toyota RAV4 for just $199 a month. Or lease a versatile new Highlander for just $289 a month. We're #1 for a reason. Come see for yourself. Hurry in for the best selection.
I thought if you had an older home, there was no way you could reduce your energy costs.
Boy, was I wrong.
We had our house performance tested by a contractor certified by the Building Performance Institute. We found a host of problems that could be corrected.
They showed us what it would cost
And how much we'd save this year.
and for years to come. We've reduced our energy use 45 to 50%.
And it's good for the environment.
How can you beat that?
For more true stories of how New Yorkers are saving energy, log on to getenergysmart.org.
Luxury everywhere you look. First of its kind technology. When your heart and head are saying the same thing, listen.
At the Lincoln Spring Forward event, get an attractive sign and drive lease plus 4 years complimentary maintenance on a Lincoln MKX.
It's not just luxury, it's smarter than that.
Yankees spring training is officially underway, and YesNetwork.com has all the insider information. Go inside the batting cage for the latest Bomber news, including exclusive blogs from Jack Curry, exciting game highlights, photo galleries, roster changes, and more. YesNetwork.com, your spring training source for all things Yankees.
We go to the 7th inning. Yankees lead 6-0. They were looking to see how Ivan Nova would do, and he did very well over 2 innings, and our Kimberly Jones caught up with Ivan a couple of moments ago.
Michael, thank you. I am here with Ivan, and 2 innings, no hits. How do you assess, how do you judge what you just did out there, Ivan?
It was great. What I do today, I feel really good. I was trying to strike, and everything goes well right now.
Joe Girardi told me that Montero caught you so much at AAA. He thought that relationship would help both of you today. Do you think it did?
Yeah. I mean, I know Montero very well. He knows me, and we got really good communication. He's learning a lot how to catch. He's a more better catcher right now, and that makes me feel good too.
How do you feel? You know spots 4 and 5 are open in this rotation. How much do you want to prove that you deserve one of those spots?
I mean, I got to keep working. I feel really good. I got 2 spots open, and I think I can get one of those 2, you know. Got to keep working hard and trying to win one of those.
People here love what you can do. They saw it a lot last year for a few innings. What do you need to do this spring to be a starter when the season begins?
Keep working hard, taking people out, and keep,
staying aggressive, is that part of it?
Trying to throw the ball good, and let's see what happens.
I think it's a good thing you're smiling so much. How's that?
I always do.
Yeah. All right. Ivan, thanks so much. Good luck the rest of the spring.
Thank you.
Michael will send it back.
All right, thanks, Kim. And Ivan, boy, he did have a big smile, and he has every right to. He has a chance to be a young Yankee on a good team with a great organization, and he did very well on the Ford scoreboard. Yankees 6-0 over the Phillies, and you saw the deep fly ball by Bradley Suttle, hauled in by Dominic Brown. Doug Bernier swings and misses. The new pitcher is Ryan Madson.
And, of course, Madson, one of the stalwarts of the Philadelphia Phillies bullpen. Anchored by closer Brad Lidge. That foul tip got a piece of Carlos Ruiz, the catcher. Ruiz is an interesting story himself. Batting 8th for the most part as we look at Madson. Ruiz had an on-base percentage of 40% last year. And that happens in the National League as we look at Madson's number. 55 appearances, 6-2 record, 2.55. Excellent pitcher, 64 strikeouts. Ruiz, like Jorge Posada, started as a second baseman before being converted to a catcher.
'69 games for Bernier at AAA. That was in Indianapolis, 240 average. Swing and a miss. Now you got your second-tier Yankee players in there, and you got a first-tier pitcher on the mound. So he's just getting in work now and probably overmatching a lot of these kids. Now last year, Madson really put the Phillies in a bad situation. Taken out of a game, angry with the way he performed, and decided to kick a clubhouse chair. Self-inflicted toe injury and was on the DL for a while. So all you kids out there, it's not a good idea to kick a chair.
Well, we've heard of pitchers punching doors and walls. Yep.
Austin Crum, his numbers at AA Trenton in the Yankee system. And Madson works a 1-2-3 inning. Makes quick work of the Yankees as they go down in order. At the end of 6 1/2, they're going to stand up and stretch here at Bright House Field. Yankees lead 6-0.
People say when you're good, you're good. But when you discover the Ford Fusion has a better resale value than Camry, it makes you even better. During our leadership sales drive, lease a new Fusion for just $129 a month. Better value, more savings at your Tri-State Ford dealer.
Verizon has thousands of representatives and technicians, and we're right here in Long Island, ready to go that extra mile for you.
This is their neighborhood, so it kind of makes a difference.
I work where I live, and I run into these customers all the time, so I want to make sure that they're happy.
From the second we called to set up the appointment to the installation, couldn't have gone better.
We're committed to bringing the best in entertainment to where you live, because we live here too.
People say, how is Fios really? And I say, listen, it's not because I work for Verizon, it is a much better product. Fios is unbelievable.
The New York Yankees are tradition.
Swung on and missed. Sabathia is dealing.
2011 New York Yankees season tickets are on sale now with a number of great benefits, including savings off of the game day ticket prices. Several ticket plans also include postseason benefits. Yankee season ticket plans are available on both a full season and partial season basis, starting with our 11-game plan. Buy your season ticket plan today. Call 212-YANKEES or log on to Yankees.com.
Get to Nissan now for the offer you need on the Nissan you want. This is Nissan Now. Get special pricing on our full line. Sedans, trucks and SUVs, crossovers. Now, lease Altima, just $189. Or Rogue, also $189. Visit ChooseNissan.com or see your local Nissan dealer today. Event ends soon. Do it now.
If you want to be a leader, then lead. Like Ford Fusion. With 34 miles per gallon, Fusion's gas mileage can't be beat by Camry and Accord. During our leadership sales drive, lease a new Fusion for just $129 a month. Unbeatable mileage. Best deal at your Tri-State Ford dealer.
Hey, bring your family, friends, or business associates out to Yankee Stadium for a group outing and enjoy Yankees baseball in a game day suite. Game day suites can accommodate groups between 12 and 382 guests. That's a big suite with all-inclusive food and non-alcoholic beverage packages. Make your special occasion legendary. How do you do it? Call 212-YANKEES, or you can email them at suites@yankees.com or log on to yankees.com/suites. Ford scoreboard has the Yankees at 6-0 on the positive side. Adam Warren in his second inning of work goes 2-0 on Polanco.
I see the Yankee offense break out a bit today. Well, the pitching has been outstanding. It just allowed 2 hits to the Phillies. And both of them were singles.
And one of them was an infield single. Yeah. The Fanatic. He needs spring training as well to get some of his stuff down.
Well, I think he's going the other way, though.
He borrowed that Hawaiian shirt out of my closet.
He did.
So Polanco works a walk against Warren. Warren's second walk. And that's going to bring up Dominic Brown.
Fanatic has been, well, it's not the same guy who actually started as the Fanatic.
Well, that guy's 81 years old.
David Raymond.
Yes.
He went, in fact, years ago, we went on a all-star tour of Japan, and they took the Fanatic over. The Japanese fans didn't know what to make of the Fanatic.
For the Phillies, running for Polanco, number 73, Carlos Rivero.
Carlos Rivero will pinch run for Polanco. Dominic Brown has struck out twice today. And there's a strike from Warren.
Dominic Brown did go to win a ball this year, but he actually left. He didn't play very well. And I think that was in the Dominican Republic. And he returned home, decided to pack it in, get ready for spring training at home.
It was very interesting. He did pack it in. He was asked why. He said, because I wasn't good. You wonder, they put so much trust in Dominic Brown being the guy to take over for the numbers vacated by Jason Worth. But last year with the Phillies, we just saw those numbers, 210. He didn't hit well in winter ball.
Yeah.
He really has shown a lot in the minors, but is that going to translate up here?
Yeah, I think that's one reason why we mentioned yesterday Ben Francisco could actually play a bigger role than it might become a platoon situation. Zephyr Hills, Florida, which is near here, not too far away.
4th best prospect in baseball, rated by Baseball America. Now, you can't really blame the Phillies, Kenny, for not re-signing Jason Worth. The money that he got from the Nationals, off the chart. Now, Jason Worth is a nice player, but 7 years, $120-odd million. That's an amazing contract.
It was like the Nationals are making a statement.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they defended it this way. We've got to overpay people to come here.
Yeah.
And then we've got to make this a place that people will want to come. 1-2. Chop foul. But I know that caught the eyes of a lot of baseball people that if the Nationals are going to give that for Jason Worth, that's why you could almost explain away the contract the Red Sox gave to Carl Crawford. Is he a $20 million a year player? Well, you know what? If Jason Worth is going to get what he got, Carl Crawford's going to get $20 million a year. Brown, hat trick for him. He strikes out 3 times today.
Designated hitter, San Francisco.
It's like he might have a hole in his swing up and in. He couldn't get to that pitch.
Well, you wonder, would a platoon of Francisco and Brown give you the numbers that Jason Worth gave you?
I don't think so.
And the Phillies did their calculations, Kenny, and they said, okay, we'd rather spend all that money on Cliff Lee. You know, the money we saved not signing Jason Worth, we'll spend on Cliff Lee. We'll improve our pitching.
Well, yesterday we talked about the fact that pitching is making somewhat of a comeback at the major leagues. If fewest runs scored in the major leagues since the early 90s. ERAs have tumbled. They've coming down. I think the San Francisco Giants proved how important pitching is. They weren't the greatest hitting team. They seem to be a good clutch hitting team.
Well, to tell you that offense seems to be on the downside. That's why the Phillies are trying to capitalize with their 4 aces, and then Joe Blanton, who started today. Pretty good 4 starters before him. When you see that, and when you see what Kenny's talking about with the offense coming down and pitching moving up, it does tell you that Bud Selig's dedication to cleaning up this game is working. That the performance-enhancing drugs are not as prevalent, if they exist at all. Hopefully they don't, because all of a sudden people that are getting older aren't playing as well. People that are smaller aren't hitting home runs, and maybe it's swinging the pendulum now back toward pitching.
Yeah, it's getting back the way things were maybe in the early 80s and 70s and through the 80s until the 90s. Things started to take off as far as power and home runs were concerned.
The 2-2 ripped into left center field. That's going to be trouble. It splits the outfielders, and it goes to the wall. That'll score a run. Stopping at second with an RBI double is Francisco. And the Phillies are finally on the board. Yankees now lead 6-1. Now we're talking about the 4 aces and what Blanton meant. Jack Curry caught up with Cliff Lee earlier and asked him about the 4 aces and how it stands to be one of them.
I mean, obviously it's a special rotation. There's no doubt about it. I mean, we got the best guy in the game with Halladay and, Oswald, Hamels, Blanton, and myself. That's pretty good resume there. But, we haven't done anything yet. To be considered one of the best of all time, you got to win, multiple titles and do things year in and year out. It's a little premature to be saying that, but to be considered and to be talked about, it's a good thing, and the potential's there.
Potential is there. The last time a staff had 4 20-game winners way back in the 70s with the Baltimore Orioles. Well, Larry Rothschild takes the ball from Adam Warren. He's going to go and call to the bullpen as the Yankees are leading 6-1 in the bottom of the 7th. We'll be back.
Get to Nissan now for the offer you need on the Nissan you want. This is Nissan Now. Get special pricing on our full line. Sedans, trucks and SUVs, crossovers. Now, lease Altima, just $189. Or Rogue, also $189. Visit ChooseNissan.com or see your local Nissan dealer today. Event ends soon. Do it now.
What's with the,
Hydrangeas?
Uh-huh.
Checking fees.
What?
My shrink said I need to channel my hostility towards checking fees into something beautiful.
Touch the ball.
Get rid of checking fees. Get electric orange checking from ING Direct. No, you're not rich enough fees. No fee of the month fees, because we don't like fees.
Beautiful.
DeMarini Voodoo Bat, $199.99. Everything baseball. Sports Authority, all things sporting good.
6'10" Andy Cisco comes into the ball game. They AA Richmond last year. That's in the Giants organization, I believe. 48 games, 4-4, 4.32, 75 strikeouts in 66 2/3.
There's a strike. I walked by Cisco today, and I thought that I was in a football locker room. I mean, this guy is gigantic. He's just enormous. I've never seen a pitcher that big, because not only is he tall, but he's wide. He really looks like an offensive lineman, or maybe a tight end. Time was called. Ruiz fouls it away. Yankees leading 6-1. Drafted by the Cubs in 2001. 6'10", 270. Been in the big leagues 3 seasons, and he missed 08 and 09 with Tommy John surgery. The 0-2. Inside 1-2. Sellout crowd here at Bright House Field. Phillies' first home game of the spring. Yankees' first road game. They both met yesterday afternoon at Steinbrenner Field in Tampa. The 1-2. Bounced up there by Cisco.
I mentioned that Cisco pitched last year for the Giants AA team in Richmond. For years, Richmond was a Atlanta Braves farm club, AAA in the International League, but now they're AA club. The interesting thing about the nickname of that team, the Richmond Flying Squirrels. I guess they're running out of names.
Fly ball, left field. Austin Crum will put it away. If you're just tuning in, or fans in Manhattan, Time Warner had some problems, and a couple of innings were missed. And one of the things you missed was the youngster Dellin Betances. He came in and just was so impressive. A knuckle curve, a blistering fastball. He hit 97 on the gun in his first appearance, and all 3 outs that he recorded in the 5th inning were strikeouts. He did walk Carlos Ruiz. The Lincoln game summary, 6-5-0. Phillies won 3-0. Nova started. He was really impressive as well. 2 strikeouts, 4 ground balls in 2 innings. Granderson with an opposite field home run to left center. And we showed you what Betances did. Really, really impressive for that young kid from New York City. And Larry Rothschild, the Yankees' new pitching coach, has to be happy with what he's seen so far. Yesterday, Bartolo Colon was solid in his first 2 innings of work. And Betances and Nova today really opens up some eyes. Cisco deals to Valdez, fouled off twice.
Now, Cisco does have some major league experience. He pitched for the Kansas City Royals, primarily out of their bullpen. But you're right, the pitching has been very good the first couple of days.
Pitch is high, 2-1. Bottom of the 7th inning, Yankees scored 2 in the 4th inning on the home run by Granderson, and then 4 in the 6th. RBI double by Swisher. Granderson with a ground ball through the legs of Ryan Howard. That scored another run. Posada RBI double to left center. Jesus Montero, the youngster, with a hard broken bat ground ball single and an RBI through the left side of the infield in the 6th inning. That scored the 4 runs, but the error by Howard was huge. Montero had a good game in terms of at-bats. Fouled off a lot of pitches in the 2nd inning before lining out to Polanco. Then grounded to short in the 4th and the RBI single in the 6th. Handled himself well behind the plate as well as Wilson Valdez works a walk. So that's the Yankees scoring, the 2 in the 4th and the 4 in the 6th. So they lead 6-1. Phillies got to run this inning against Adam Warren. An RBI double by Ben Francisco to left center field, scoring the pinch runner Carlos Rivero into pinch run for Polanco, who had led off the inning with a walk. So we're set up 1st and 2nd with 2 outs. And here's Freddie Galvis. Jimmy Rollins was 0 for 3 while he was in there. Galvis swings at the first pitch and pops it up to shallow left. Bernier and Crum calls him off, makes the play, and that'll do it. For the Phillies in the 7th, 1 run, 1 hit, 2 walks, and 2 men left. Let's go to the 8th.
This month, we honor our leaders, those that inspire us to become something better, to discover our full potential. At Chevrolet, we celebrate these leaders, past and present, and this month, we invite you to join us. During our President's Day event, very well-qualified current GM owners and lessees can lease this 2011 Malibu LS for around $197 a month with 0 due at signing. Tax, title, license, and dealer fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Call for details. Hurry, offer ends February 28th. Find your nearest dealer on ChevyOffers.com.
You love cars, and you enjoy working with your hands. Put the two together and learn a skill at Lincoln Technical Institute to become an automotive technician and to get into a new career doing what you love. From engines to transmissions, electronics, and so much more. Our experienced ASE certified instructors have been there and will show you step by step how to diagnose and repair all types of cars and trucks in an on-the-job type atmosphere. Get training for a career that has openings anywhere in the world. Not only are these skills in demand, but it's something you'll enjoy doing. As long as there are cars on the road, there will always be a need for properly trained automotive technicians. Pick up the phone right now and call Lincoln Tech. Classes start soon. This isn't just a job, it's a career. You can do this, and we can help you.
Call 800-754-9105. Classes fill fast, so pick up the phone and call now. That's 800-754-9105. Call now.
If Crosby lights the lamp in Pittsburgh, will you cheer in Denver? If Luongo stands on his head in Vancouver, will you stand on your feet in Los Angeles? No matter where you live, you'll never miss a moment with NHL Center Ice on DirecTV. Following your favorite teams and players has never been easier. With up to 40 out-of-market games a week, with up to 20 in Razor Sharp HD. NHL Center Ice, the game lives where you do. Race for the cup and save with our lowest price of the season. Call 1-800-GET-SPORTS.
We go to the 8th inning. Yankees lead 6-1. Moments ago, our Kimberly Jones caught up with Brett Gardner.
Hey, Michael, thank you. I'm with Brett Gardner. And Brett, before the game, Kevin Long said, hey, this guy's really a prototypical leadoff hitter. By the results today, you liked it out there.
Yeah, it's just one day, you know, but really my one at-bat yesterday and then my first 2 today, I didn't get a lot to hit. And then my last at-bat, I got a good pitch to hit. But, you know, it's all getting your timing down this time of year and getting comfortable out there against live pitching.
You mentioned the double, or you alluded to it just now. Does that tell you anything about where you are this early, a hit like that?
Not necessarily, but it's good to, you know, it's right down the left field line, so it's good to let the ball travel, let it get deep in the zone, and take a good compact swing, not get too big, and just stay down through it.
How about the 2 walks? You're still patient. That must just simply come naturally to you to be doing that this early.
No, a lot of my walks are a byproduct of guys not throwing me strikes. You know, I think guys tell me I'm too short, my zone's too small, so that's why I get a lot of walks.
But it's working for you.
Yeah, whatever works.
This is the first time we're catching up with you. You did have the surgery on your wrist in the off season. How has that helped you at the plate and just overall?
You know, it feels great. I'm 100%. I've felt great since the middle and end of January, and you know, it's good to it's good to feel like my old self again.
Where do you envision yourself in this batting order, Brett?
Wherever they want to put me, 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, whatever. I don't think I'm going to hit in the middle too often, but, wherever they want to put me, I'll be happy with it. It's a lot of fun to, be able to go out there every day and play with these guys, and just if I'm in the lineup with them, it's a lot of fun.
And since we last saw you, a second-time daddy, you and your wife with your second son, so we congratulate you on that.
Thank you.
Michael, send it back.
All right, thanks, Brett, and thanks, Kim. Brett Gardner today walked in the first, walked in the fourth and scored, and then doubled and scored in the sixth. 6-1 Yankees lead. You saw Jordan Perez ground out to short. Now Melky Mesa is in there facing the new Philly pitcher, J.C. Romero. New battery for the Phillies, J.C. Romero on the mound, and Eric Kratz is behind the plate. Pitch outside. That's Romero's changeup. The numbers on Romero, outstanding. Few too many walks. You don't like that, but he does a good job coming out of the bullpen. Hot shot up the middle, of base hit off the bat of Melky Mesa. 1-out single.
Previous hitter Jordan Perez, who was at the plate, hit the ball hard, almost got it through the infield. So 2 solid shots off the bat of these young Yankee outfielders facing J.C. Romero.
There's Daniel Brewer. He had pinch run for Posada in the sixth after Posada had the RBI double to left center. There's a breaking ball strike. The 0-1. Another good breaking ball to count 0-2.
As the Phillies bullpen is anchored by Brad Lidge, their closer, who bounced back from 2 years ago. He had not such a good year. Last year he was pretty solid.
Ball gets away from Kratz. Melky Mesa tries to advance to second. He's gunned down. Good throw to Pete Orr, and Orr made the tag.
Ball gets away from Kratz, but quickly. Watch how quickly he pounces on. Gets rid of the mask and a strong throwing arm. Well, it wasn't that close. Mesa, done.
So the count 1-2. And he swings. And that'll do it.
No runs to hit, no errors, and nobody left. Let's go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Yankees leading this one 6-1.
While others are content to imitate, we'll continue to innovate. The Lexus RX. Why settle for a copy when you can own the original? Lease the 2011 RX 350 for $479 a month for 36 months with $39.54 due at signing. See your Lexus dealer.
What if you could combine America's most advanced fiber optic network with America's most loved mobile device? Wouldn't that be something? Control your TV, manage your DVR remotely, and with a flick of a finger, send pictures straight to your flat screen with the Fios app for iPhone. To get more from your iPhone wherever you are, you need Verizon Fios, a network ahead.
Get to Nissan now for the offer you need on the Nissan you want. This is Nissan Now. Get special pricing on our full line. Sedans, trucks and SUVs, crossovers. Now, lease Altima, just $189. Or Rogue, also $189. Visit ChooseNissan.com or see your local Nissan dealer today. Event ends soon. Do it now.
nothing that works like confidence. Especially with all this to back it up.
At the Lincoln Spring Forward event, get an attractive sign and drive lease plus 4 years complimentary maintenance on a Lincoln MKZ.
It's not just luxury, it's smarter than that.
Andy Cisco deals to Michael Martinez, and there's a strike. Michael Martinez is a familiar name. He actually covered the Yankees for the New York Times back in the 90s, and he flies out right now to right field. Not that Michael Martinez.
I was about to ask. Yeah. Every writer's dream.
Covering the Yankees and then playing.
And then playing.
Here's John Mayberry Jr. There's a strike. Yankees 6 runs on 6 hits. The Phillies 1 run on 3 hits. They committed 1 error. That error by Ryan Howard allowed one of the Yankee runs to score. Grounded up the middle. Russo over to Vasquez for the second out.
Remember Russo last year playing second, played third. I think he made his outfield debut. Well, he'd actually played minor leagues in the outfield, but it's Citi Field.
Yeah, that's
Against him,
right.
he got his first major league hit.
Yep.
That was a nice play there at second. Versatility.
You got some memory, Singleton.
It's baseball. It's just rolling around up there.
Really, I just sketch it out once the game's over. Pitches outside to Globe.
I want to say it was a double down the right field, maybe the left field line. Probably wrong about that. I don't know.
Crowd thinning out just a bit in the outfield on the berm. I always wonder, is that a berm or is it a grassy knoll?
Let's go with berm.
I like berm. Great word, berm. Foul back.
You know what? Would it be harder to get an accurate attendance total? What is capacity?
I think capacity's the mid-8s, 8,500.
Well, you could pack as many people as you wanted out there.
It would be a messy berm if they were all over each other. I mean, but I guess, yeah, I guess it's a floating capacity. I know what you're saying. Nice ballpark. 8 years old. This is the 8th season of Bright House Field.
Russo's first hit was a single at Citi Field. Katsunori Takahashi gave it up.
So it was a big hit then because it was late in the game.
Yankees won that game 2-1.
High fly ball, center field. Melky Mesa drifts back, and he'll put it away. A 1-2-3 inning for Andy Cisco here in the 8th. We go to the 9th inning here on the Yes Network. The New York Yankees lead the Philadelphia Phillies 6.
It's comparable to Toyota. Our car.
Why do so many car companies compare themselves to Toyota? Maybe it's because Toyota is the #1 choice among consumers. Or because 80% of Toyotas sold in the last 20 years are still on the road today. And right now, at your local Toyota dealer, you could lease a family-friendly new 2011 Toyota Sienna for just $269 a month. We're #1 for a reason. Come see for yourself. Hurry in for the best selection.
The New York Yankees are great moments.
See ya! What a play! He got him!
Yankee fans, bring your family, friends, or business associates to Yankee Stadium for a group outing and enjoy Yankees baseball in a game day suite. Game day suites can accommodate groups as small as 12 and up to 382 guests with all-inclusive food and non-alcoholic beverage packages. Make your special occasion legendary. Call 212-YANKEES, email suites@yankees.com, or log on to yankees.com/suites.
So how's London?
Oh, it's amazing.
Dad, can I use the car?
Let me check.
Introducing Buick's new mobile app. It lets you check and control your lacrosse right from your smartphone, from almost anywhere.
Okay, but promise to have it back by 10.
Thanks, Dad.
Hey, I'll start it up for you.
Seriously. Oh, come on.
Current vehicle owners celebrate President's Day and sign and drive this lacrosse for $349 per month with nothing due at signing.
Get warmed up for a new baseball season with the Yankees Spring Training Report on Yes. With player interviews, workout highlights, and clubhouse news, our experts are on site in Tampa to break down the big storylines from Bombers camp. Prospects, position battles, injury updates, and more. Yankees Spring Training Report presented by Lincoln premieres next, only on Yes.
We go to the 9th inning, and we have some sad news to report. According to Bill Madden of the New York Daily News, an iconic New York baseball star, Duke Snider, passed away in California at the age of 85, and one of the trio of great center fielders in the 50s in New York, Willie Mays for the Giants, Mickey Mantle for the Yankees, and Duke Snider for the Brooklyn Dodgers. And Duke Snider passes away, and he was the last surviving member of the Boys of Summer, that great Dodger team, and 407 home runs for Duke Snider in his career, Hall of Fame career. And I know, Kenny, that you growing up in New York, you loved Duke Snider.
Yeah, Duke Snider, you know, that my dad had the Dodgers on TV all the time when they were in Brooklyn, and 8-time All-Star. Finished his career with the New York Mets. The early years of the Mets, and the Duke of Flatbush. Great Hall of Famer. A lot of big-time World Series good numbers against the Yankees primarily. Hit a lot of home runs against the Yankees in the World Series out of Ebbets Field.
Brad Lidge is the new Philly pitcher, their closer, coming into pits tonight. He deals to Jorge Vasquez outside. Everything I've read, Kenny, it must have been unbelievable growing up in the 50s as you would stand on street corners and argue who's the best, Willie, Mickey, or the Duke. And that argument was actually immortalized in that great song by Terry Cashman, Willie, Mickey, and the Duke.
Yeah, that's
talking baseball.
Very true. It's definitely a sad day.
Our condolences go out to the Snider family and also all the Dodger fans from that era and the Brooklyn/Los Angeles Dodger organization.
Duke Snider actually went on to become a broadcaster for many years with the Montreal Expos. And his partner on the air was Dave Van Horn. And Dave Van Horn is going into the Hall of Fame this year. He gets the Ford Frick Award. And congratulations to Dave, who now does the games on radio for the Florida Marlins.
1-2 to Vasquez, fouled away.
They were a great tandem up in Montreal. Fans loved them.
Yankees lead this one 6-1. Now, Kenny, you were very young.
Yeah.
But who was the best of those three? Ooh. High fly ball, deep left field. That ball is gone. A home run. The second in as many days for Jorge Vasquez. And the Yankees lead 7-1. Mayberry went back, ran out of room. Yesterday, the home run was over the high black fence behind center field in Steinbrenner Field. And this one, just a towering drive to left as Vasquez shows some power.
Yesterday it was straight away center field. Today it was a breaking ball hanging on the inner half of the plate. You can see Mayberry going back, and wind is now almost blowing straight out. So once again, the ball got a bit of a boost and gets out of the ballpark. To answer your question, Michael, you pick any one of those three. All three of them are Hall of Fame outfielders. And all three of them were great defenders.
Molina pops it up. Long run, and Gloat can't make the play.
Of course, you know my favorite player of all time is Willie Mays.
Right.
Yeah, but, gee, all three of them, you couldn't go wrong.
You could not go wrong. Well, this copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. I've long wondered how Dodger fans, I mean, kids, that they love their team. I mean, the Dodgers were such an integral part of that borough. Could not get out of the way of that, so Molina will take first. How they handled their team just being taken away, and it wasn't as they were taken away and they went to Jersey. Yeah. They went 3,000 miles away. I know there are still people in Brooklyn that ache over that. Must have been awful.
Well, let's put it this way. The Dodgers have now played more games in Los Angeles than they played in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So they've been in L.A. for a long, long time.
Here's Kevin Russo.
It certainly would have been hard for Dodger fans to throw their support over to the Yankees.
Yeah.
Because how many times did they lose to the Yankees in the World Series?
Dodgers had to wait. Dodgers left after 57.
Yeah.
The fans had to wait till the Mets were formed to have a team to root for. As you said, it was probably difficult. And there wasn't any internet or cable television, so you couldn't see the Dodger games. I mean, occasional national television game, but they had their team ripped away from them. And Duke Snider was beloved from that team, just beloved. The Duke of Flatbush. Pitches high, as you can see Lidge struggling in his first spring training outing. Lidge's career has a strange arc to it. He's either unhittable or very, very hittable. There's nothing in between. When the Phillies won the World Series, he was almost perfect that year. I think he was perfect.
Yeah.
And then the year after, I mean, he pretty much lost his closer's job. And then last year, he kind of got it back. And the same arc happened while he was in Houston. He was great, and then he was just terrible. Just a strange, strange career path by Brad Lidge. I remember that home run that Lidge gave up to Pujols that kept that series alive.
Still going.
Still going.
Yeah.
And there was a shot of Andy Pettitte when Andy was at the Astros. Oh, my gosh, you could read his lips. It was one of the longest home runs and forced a Game 6, which the Astros ended up winning. As Russo couldn't hold up on the breaking ball. And you wonder, is that the thing that sent Lidge on the next downside of his career? But boy, when he's good, he's really good. Follow the New York Yankees with MLB.com at Bat 11 for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get spring training scores, stats, highlights, live audio, and more. Text @BAT to 31826 or visit Yankees.com for details. Bradley Suttle chops one to second, and he is gunned down for the second out as Molina moves to second. You know what I was just thinking, Kenny? I was just thinking, because we're talking about old-time baseball. Mel Allen or Red Barber was not reading. They were not reading promos about iPhones, iPads, Androids, or BlackBerries.
Or DirecTV.
Or DirecTV. Or MLB.com at Bat 11 app. It just, times have changed. Now, one guy who used to do it that way and is reading promos for that is Vin Scully.
Yeah.
Who keeps on going, thank God, in L.A. Here's Doug Bernier. Count 1-0. Hey, remember, everybody, right after the game, the Yankee spring training report presented by Lincoln will follow the game. Kim Jones and Jack Curry hosting, and we'll give our 2 cents, get to know a lot about Larry Rothschild, the new Yankee pitching coach.
I was just thinking about what you were saying and how far, since I was a kid, just watching, now I can watch any game.
Yep.
just anywhere on your iPad.
It's great. Also want to remind everybody, we're going to get reaction on this game from Jesus Montero and Dylan Betances from Kim Jones has spoken with both of them. We'll hear from both of those kids. And if you missed it or joined us late, Dylan Betances was really impressive in the 5th inning. He struck out the side. He hit 97 on the radar gun, a local kid from New York City battling to make the Yankees, and he just looked great in his first spring training outing. There's an error there from Freddie Galvis. So Bernier will reach on the E6. Moving to 3rd is Molina.
Looked like a routine play. Maybe he'll hustle a little bit more than he would like, going to his left. Bernier was getting down the line pretty well. Looked like right over the bat. This play should be made. E6. Maybe the ball hopped up a bit the last hop. Maybe a little quicker than Galvis thought. And once he bobbled, no chance. Good hustle by Bernier to keep the inning going.
Austin Crum with runners on 1st and 3rd, 2 outs. Count 0-1. Crum in his first at bat grounded to 2nd. That was in the 7th. We're in the top of the 9th inning. Yankees batting against Brad Lidge. They lead 7-1. Hot shot, right side, but right there is Pete Orr to end the inning. Yankees get a run on the home run by Jorge Vasquez. So we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Yankees 7, Phillies 1. New York loses one of its own. The iconic Duke Snider passed away today at the age of 85. Our prayers are with his family.
A leader knows what it takes to be the best, like the Ford Escape, with quality that can't be beat by Honda or Toyota. During the leadership sales drive, lease a new Escape for just $179 a month. Quality-minded, savings assured at your Tri-State Ford dealer.
Welcome back to Geico Radio. It's savings on the radio.
Kate from Mill Valley. It's all yours.
Well, I'm shopping for my first car.
Nice. I do hope you'll choose Geico, save a good bit of cash.
Oh, what color is the car? I bet you look great in a blue car.
No. Actually, I'm torn between a fuel-injected inline-6 and a higher torque turbo diesel.
Yeah, that's quite a quandary. I mean, of course, you could save either way.
Yeah, but is one of them blue? Because I go with the blue one.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
I was deciding what to do with my city thank you points when it happened again. First it was the mailbox, then my squirrel, and now this. So I used my points to make a donation to get the park down the street built. Yeah! When it finally opened, I also used my points for car repair.
Use Citi Thank You points for almost anything and earn them fast with the new Citi Thank You Preferred Card. What's your story? Citi can help you write it.
I thought if you had an older home, there was no way you could reduce your energy costs.
Boy, was I wrong.
We had our house performance tested by a contractor certified by the Building Performance Institute.
We found a host of problems that could be corrected.
They showed us what it would cost
And how much we'd save this year.
and for years to come. We've reduced our energy use 45 to 50%, and it's good for the environment. How can you beat that?
For more true stories of how New Yorkers are saving energy, log on to getenergysmart.org.
Want to know what it takes to be a leader? How about just being the best? Like Ford Escape with an unbelievable 28 miles per gallon. During our leadership sales drive, lease an Escape for just $179 a month. Less stops at the pump, more savings in your wallet at your Tri-State Ford dealer.
Today's Game on Yes is brought to you in part by DirecTV. Don't just watch TV, DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. By NYSERDA. Energy, innovation, solutions. And by Cadillac. Visit CadillacTristate.com to find a dealer near you. Little playful banter on the berm. Obviously a great place to watch a game. Hats off to Buddy Carlisle, the Yankees' new pitcher. That's what Buddy did in 2009 with the Braves. He was in Japan last year. Carlisle deals low. Facing Carlos Rivero. 7-7-0 Yanks, 1-3-2 Phils.
You know, usually at this time of ball game, as we see today, a lot of the starters are long since out of the ball game. And I can remember in spring training, Michael, being in this position, trying to make the most of maybe 1 or 2 at-bats in a game.
Count 2-1.
Trying to open some eyes, so maybe get a chance to play earlier in the ball game.
Strike. When you hear the name Buddy Carlisle, Kenny, don't you expect like a 25-piece orchestra to be behind him? Just sounds like a band leader.
NASCAR driver. 25-piece band.
Fly ball right field. Paris is there for the first out.
Yeah, speaking of remembering coming up late in ball games, they announce your name over the PA system. Go, who?
And there's enough people that you can actually hear somebody go, who?
Exactly. Where's this guy from?
Here is Delwyn Young. Carlisle deals inside. Yankees up 7-1. Fouled straight back here. Got over the screen and hit the window just to the right.
It appears that the Yankees and the Phillies are going to split this home and home to get the exhibition season started. The Phillies winning yesterday. The Yankees spoiling the Phillies' home debut. 2 beautiful days to get things started.
1-1. Hot shot, right field, a base hit off the bat of Delwyn Young.
Designated hitter Ben Francisco.
And that's going to bring up the DH Ben Francisco. So Charlie Manuel keeps him in the game the entire 4 at-bats. He's 1 for 3 so far. Grounded to short, struck out, and an RBI double to left center. Strike. Eric Kratz is on deck. High drive, left field. Going back, Crum, track, wall, see ya. 2-run home run for Ben Francisco, who is trying to slug his
Well, Francisco has been the Phillies offense this afternoon. He's driven in all 3 runs. A double, and now a 2-run home run here in the 9th inning. This coming off Buddy Carlisle, and like a little cutter or slider, didn't do too much until it hit the bat. Carlisle, you mentioned, pitched in Japan last year. He pitched for the Nippon Ham Fighters.
hot shot to short. Oh, kicked nicely by Bernier. Little Olay, but he comes up with it for the second out. That was a bullet.
Bernier showing off the quick hands. The glove is in the right place. Plenty of time to make the throw across the diamond for the out. Then you hit a ball that hard and you get nothing out of it. He had to restring his glove.
Here's Pete Orr in his first at bat. Played in yesterday's game at Steinbrenner Field. Takes over for Wilson Valdez in the 8th inning. Hot shot to second. Another blister. Russo gets it, and that'll do it. Buddy Carlisle seemed like he was pitching BP there in the bottom of the 9th inning, but the Yankees do hold on. Phillies scored 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left. And the Yankees and the Phillies, as Kenny mentioned, have split their home and home as the Yankees win this one 7-3. We'll be back. We will wrap things up, try to make sense of it all. And remember, right after that, our spring training show with Kim Jones, Jack Curry. We'll hear from Jesus Montero and Dellin Betances. All still coming up, so stay right here on Yes.